hope it's not Cleopatra's cat amongst the pigeons.
Very good. Well, it was more of an asp, wasn't it? Wasn't it an asp, Cleopatra? But anyway, mate, I think it's extremely. This game is winnable for New Zealand. They've got the belief now. I mean, I think belief is key with this team. We've all seen the players that New Zealand can call upon, and often they've been less than some of their parts. But I think the belief that you saw that team get after the Iran game. And the fact that after that game, nobody's come out and said, how great it was, we got a draw. All of them went, we should have won that. And that makes me think that from a mentality point of view, they've taken it to a different level. So, Daniel, you've got a lot of stats about upsets of this World Cup. Maybe this could be another one. I mean, to be honest, even a draw here sets the table pretty well for New Zealand.
Well, I must admit I cheated about 5 minutes ago when I went to ChatGPT, so there'd be a big asterisk on this, but it seems if you base it on the FIFA World Rankings, 47% of the games have either been a draw or a win to the lower ranked side. It's made fools of us, the predictions. Chris, though, you ran a very eagle eye over Egypt. They left you very impressed.
Well, what impressed me the most is the Egyptians are a very well-structured team. They've got very, very strong professional players. I mean, the Egyptian league itself is a very strong league.
Brilliant, yeah.
But it's the integration of the front three that most impresses me. And the goal they scored was an absolute class. It was a V run from the left winger, created by a great ball from Mo Salah, went right across on a horizontal ball across the box, and he finished it out perfectly. And I look at that and I say that's a team with confidence and a team that has the ability to score goals that are created, not just on the half chance. So I'm very impressed with Egypt, but at the same token, I think New Zealand, as long as they play with the same desire and understanding they did in game one, they're well in this game.
Chris will be my co-commentator throughout this match. Ricardo Ball providing stats. Nathan Elaine will be with us at halftime and for our post-game show. Before you go, Nathan, I think they'll be more structured than Iran. There was that asterisk across Iran because of that very tumultuous build-up. New Zealand probably won't be provided the space that they got at times. So how do you see the tactical battle?
No, it's going to be fascinating. You know, what I like about the All Whites at the moment is that you've got Bell and Stamanic in that midfield, and they can run, and they've got energy and they've got strength. You're right, they won't have the space that they did against Iran, but one of the things that they're going to have to work out is how do you stop Mo Salah, because he hasn't had the greatest season at Liverpool. We all know that. He's 34, 35. We all know he's kind of coming to the end of his career, but my goodness me, he's still an incredible player, and you give him a moment and he will unlock you. And I think that is where the key will be today. Bell and Stamanic on Salah, who's going to drift around. He's playing in the hole behind Marmoush, and if you allow him to create, there's going to be all kinds of problems for the All Whites.
Great to hear your thoughts at halftime and after the game as the two sides wander out into the middle of this gorgeous stadium in Vancouver. First opened in 1983. There's been a whole heap of renovations and developments over the time and the build-up for this. Some 180 million poured in to making this World Cup ready. The All Whites in white today. They wore black in the first game. Egypt wore white, so they're wearing their red with black shorts. As now they'll encircle the centre circle and ready for the national anthems. It is a beautiful stadium, capacity over 50,000, enclosed stadium, a wild roof that sort of closes from a central position as if a flower is blooming outwards. It is quite special. It is a pure football arena. The fans are close. The atmosphere, while not 70,000 as we saw in Los Angeles, will be spectacular. There is a lot of Egyptian fans and a lot of nervous faces. We now stand to attention for the two national anthems, starting off with New Zealand's. A lot of proud Kiwis in Vancouver kissing the badge, whistling, clapping, cheering their side on. Now it is time for Biladi, 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 the national anthem of Egypt. My homeland, my homeland, my homeland.
National de l'Égypte.
Across BC Place, Vancouver, almost set, almost ready. Chris Milicic alongside me, Daniel McHardy, as the two sides will now shake hands. Let's talk about Egypt, Chris. 7 times champions of Africa. They have dominated African football for so long, but at the World Cup it's a whole different story. They first appeared in 1934, would have played in 1930 if they didn't miss the boat, of course, famously, but yet had still not won a game at a FIFA World Cup. I'm sorry, I can't help but think all of the pressure is on them. They are expected to end that, 90-plus barren spell.
Yes, you would expect the pressure will be on Egypt, but at the same time, a professional footballer looks at this is a great opportunity to win, and the pressure doesn't matter. World Cup wins, until this World Cup, weirdly, have been extremely difficult for most countries to get a point. I mean, we've got, teams drawing with Spain and Uruguay drawing this morning. All these teams are changed because of the style of football that's evolved into what we're facing now. So this is probably the first World Cup where you've seen the minnows consistently getting results. And there's a whole series of reasons for that, but this is, I think, for Egypt, the pressure for them now is to qualify a bit like New Zealand. And no matter what happens today, you've still got the capacity to qualify even if you lose today, because that's all going to go into that last game. So I would imagine there's very little pressure on Egypt, and they'll be feeling the same for New Zealand.
The referee today from the United Arab Emirates is Omar Al Ali. He'll be helped out through the assistant refereeing of his countryman Mohammed Al Hamadi and Qatar's Talib Al Mari. The video assistant referee is Mohammed Obaid Kadim of the United Arab Emirates. He'll be assisted by Sean Evans of Australia. Let's get to the starting lineup, starting off with Egypt. Shubair will remain in goal for his 12th appearance for his country. It's an unchanged starting 11. Hani, who conceded that own goal, will retain his spot on the right-hand side. Fatua on the left-hand side at left fullback. Fatih and Ibrahim in the centre of defence. In front of them, the hard-working midfield duo of Lachine, and alongside him, Atia. Further up, the goal scorer from game number 1, Ashur on the left, Zico on the right. The great Mohamed Salah will not be running down the wing for Egypt, playing in behind the striker, who is Manchester City's Omar Marmoush. For Darren Baisley and the New Zealanders, he too has entrusted the 11 who got a point against Iran in the first game. Crocombe remains in goal. Kakachi and Payne, the fullbacks. Boxall and Sermon in the heart of defence. Stamanic, Bell, Just, Singh, McHoward, this fluid attacking trio. And of course, the big man up top, 2 assists in game number 1. It is Chris Wood. Our own Chris is Chris Milicic. Egypt are not going to give him the space he was afforded by Iran in game 1.
Yeah, I think that they're just going to get tight on Chris. They've realised that if the ball gets delivered into Chris, he's got the capacity to pull it down and play. They're certainly not going to let that happen because their defenders are quite comfortable taking one-on-one or 2v1 on Chris, and it's going to be up to the other Kiwi players to make sure that they're going through the channels and causing chaos to try and get some of that pressure off Chris. But Chris he's used to it. You know, it's nothing unusual. He's being kicked by the greatest players in the world currently playing in the Premier League. So we have to just trust him to do what he does the best.
The countdown is on. We are seconds away. Will today be the day for New Zealand and Egypt to break through the glass barrier? New Zealand to kick off, wearing all white, running from left to right as we look at it. Egypt in red with black shorts. Group G is wide open. It is there for the taking after a draw between Iran and Belgium earlier today. A win, and you are likely in to the second round of FIFA World Cup 2026. New Zealand working the ball along their back line where Sermon looks like he will try to find Chris Wood. In fact, he's gone down the right channel looking for McHoward, who's hovering on that sideline. He gets there, plays a ball in, and almost crept below the outstretched hands of Shobir in goal. And fortuitously for him, it was cleared away by an Egyptian defender. New Zealand retained possession. Now Singh on the right-hand side. He can't get past Fatua, but a positive opening 50 seconds for the Kiwis.
Very positive, and they've actually had the first opportunity for something, and they're picking up the ball a lot higher than they were in the Iranian game. They're starting the balls straight away. Egypt's starting to struggle. Egypt looked like they're trying to play. The ball from Sherman was what ignited that.
Sherman concedes a foul, no booking. No New Zealander picked up a booking in that first game, of course.
No, and of course the sheer cost to the team if you pick up a booking at a FIFA World Cup means that no country actually wants to pick up a booking. And to be fair, the referee's been good.
Butt bursting into the circle. Left-hand side of the area, and Sermon was strong, shoulder to shoulder, to saw Marmouche lose possession, and it creeps through to Crocombe. 90 seconds gone, no score.
It's going to be interesting. Straight away, the game's opened up, and we go on end to end already. There's no sort of hesitancy about what either team's doing, which sort of reflects what I said before. I think both teams are actually going to go for this.
Long ball from Crocombe almost got over the head of the central defender. In fact, didn't hit the rump of Chris Wood. He was in behind. Problem was the ball struck him. And that saw the end of that opportunity. Now Egypt trying to build some confidence through passing from their own back line. Fatua, the left fullback, has a bit of space, plays it down. And sure, goal scorer from the first game. He just has his shirt dragged by Joe Bell and a free kick awarded. 2.5 minutes gone, no score between New Zealand and Egypt.
It's interesting that we're going to see in this team, in this game, I would imagine Egypt's going to try and take some sting out of the game by maintaining the ball and try and get the Kiwis to over-press and then trying to get some continuity. But New Zealand, as they showed against Iran, has got no problem with pressing and trying to win the ball much higher.
Yeah. And
as you said, the ball hit Chris and he would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper if that had gone through.
Payne, midway, halfway in penalty area, closed down by Ashur, out for a New Zealand throw. Darren Baisley stalking the technical area. He's wearing all black today.
I think he set the team up very, very well against Iran, and I think for what we're seeing right now, this is a New Zealand team that has belief and desire to want to win, and the way they're playing will create goal scoring opportunities, and I think that's really positive for the evolution of New Zealand men's national team.
On the other side of the box, Hussam Hassan, very well regarded coach, but remembered even more fondly for his playing days for Egypt. He's their record goal scorer with 69 goals at 177 appearances. This man on the ball now, Mohamed Salah, is closing in on that. He is drifting more right-hand side. in the early stages, but New Zealand's defensive structure good as they'll have to play it back, finding the feet of Hamidi Fati. Ibrahim to his right. Now here is Mohamed Salah, the captain. Outside of the left foot into a dangerous area, top of the area, but quickly off his line. Crocombe there to collect assuredly.
It doesn't surprise me that Salah's going to spend most of the game out on that left. I know the lineup had him playing just in behind Marmoush, but he's the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous wingers in the world when he's cutting inside on that left foot of his.
Long ball through the centre forward channel. Sarpreet Singh beaten to it by Ibrahim. He rolls it back to Shubir. Keeper sends a long ball. Up goes Egypt. Joe Bell gets onto the second ball. Played into the feet of Stamanic. Back to Bell. Neat triangles. McHardy involved. Stamanic down to the feet of Singh. They're over the halfway line. Nice tidy football from New Zealand, but an Egyptian foot gets in, and here is Mohamed Salah picking it on the halfway line. Listen to that roar in Vancouver when the great man gets on the ball. Skips past Stamanic down to central position, 30 yards from goal, into the feet of Marmoush. Poor touch from Omar Marmoush. New Zealand can come away, but the counter press is good from Egypt. The ball will ricochet, fizz into the New Zealand area, out over the goal line. It will be a goal kick, I think. 5 minutes gone. New Zealand 0, Egypt 0.
Looked like a little bit of a breakdown in communication between Stamanic and Kakache there. Stamanic wanting Kakache to come to the ball.
Yeah, I think that there was that opportunity, and that's what you've got to be so dangerous. Both of them were a bit hesitant there, and that allowed Mo Salah to pick the ball up and become able to penetrate into our defensive third. But the most interesting thing that I was just sitting there thinking, and Marmoush is playing, and he's a Man City player, and they're Premier League strikers. Every team in this World Cup has an unbelievable top man.
Yeah, Marmoush quiet though for Manchester City. Here's a turnover. Here's Mohamed Salah off to the races. Wood is chasing him, top of the area. Can he fashion a shot? He can. It's deflected away, I think, off the shin of Sermon. It's not going to go out for a corner because Payne can get there quickly. It does show he still does have frightening acceleration. Certainly not the top line speed of a couple of years ago, Mo Salah. But New Zealand just need to be so disciplined in possession.
Yeah, we're not worrying too much that he's lost a yard of pace, mate.
Not at all. Sarpreet Singh fires Libby Kakache, 10 outside of his area, is challenged by Salah, but Eli Just, not for the first time this tournament, comes back and does his defensive responsibility. Threads a ball to Wood, overlapping his Kakache to the left, cut back top of the area, Stamanic shoots, nice Singh, and it's just wide. Gee, that was fluid and brilliant from New Zealand. They swept upfield and it's just hooked wide by Sarpreet Singh.
So clearly one of the instructions for the All Whites in this tournament as compared to what we would normally do, once they break the first line, it's like it's called a false counter-attack. You just go for it and just 1 and 2 touches, pass the ball as quick as you can and create chances. And to be fair, that was absolutely well set up. And they had 2 options there. Stamanic could have overstepped it and then just had a chance. But, hey, take the chance when it's there.
Strong challenge on Singh. No whistle, play on. Loose ball with Egypt and Mo Salah, but he's crowded out in the central position. Pouncing on the loose ball is McHardy. Here's Just 1, 2, 3 passes then into the feet of the referee, who's apologising. Joe Bell's filthy, isn't he? Because he's got the ball into the path of, I think it's Elijah Just. Roadrunner could have turned upfield.
Yeah, and it was just in the perfect 10 pocket where you really want your player facing and hit the referee, and I think that would have been the opportunity. Elijah would have turned and we would have been able to get right into their back part. But, hey, for what I've seen, that's happened numerous times. The referees are actually struggling to get out of the way of the ball from the counter-attacking and the speed of the passing in this World Cup. They're getting hit more often than not.
Sarpreet Singh drifting to the right-hand side, just over the Egyptian side of halfway. Hooks the ball, looking for Woods, headed away, and then out by Fatua. It's going to be calmly brought down by Singh, finding Stamanic. He'll go back to Payne on the halfway line. He's sort of retreating as he looks upfield. Comes back in. Sermon now to the feet of Bell. Marmoush is close to him, so he'll roll it back to Finn Sermon. Now, the ageless wonder, Michael Boxall, became the oldest OFC player to make an appearance at a World Cup in the first game. As he approaches his 38th birthday, roams over the halfway line, almost gets a nosebleed.
Well, considering how young the centre-backs he's meant to play with, him and Tommy Smith, bring the average age up to about 26.
He has aged like a fine wine. He really has. Sermon massive future ahead of him. Payne plays it to Singh. Singh, little back heel, dangerous ball. It's going to be picked up by Ashur. Quickly to Fatua, the left fullback. Went back to Ashur and McHardy. Good energy to close him down, forcing Egypt to go back. Into the 10th minute, no score between New Zealand and Egypt. We'll get to Ricardo Ball for a stats update. I'd say New Zealand had more of the ball.
The official stats tell us that New Zealand have had 48% of the possession, 35 to Egypt in this new in conflict, I guess you call it, where the ball is up for grabs 17% of the time so far in this game.
Egypt working down the right-hand side. Lost out. Eli just wins a challenge, no whistle. Bells plays laterally to the left-hand sideline where Kakachi comes in field. Stamanic looking for Chris Wood, but he had just drifted offside, so he had to stop, put his hand up, say, good option from Joe Bell, but no connection on this occasion.
Great momentum in this game already. We've been going not even 10 minutes ticking over in 4 seconds, but both teams have had attacks, both teams are flowing. Nobody's looking to cement themselves into mid or lower blocks. This game could end up anything.
Right-hand side of the park, Egypt 30 yards from goal. Ashur comes narrow in a central position, lays it off to Salah. Here is Ate. Now Fatua, left-hand side. Ashur's now drifted back to the left. He'll clip it back. Tar now diagonal, looking to switch the play, but that's too much for Hani. Mohamed Hani did his best, the 30-year-olds, to sprint and close the distance, but it's crept down over the goal line, and New Zealand will have a goal kick. Almost 11 minutes gone. New Zealand 0, Egypt 0. There's our Egyptian coach, Sam Hassan, is doing some sort of aerobics on the sideline. I think he's trying to send a message with that.
Yeah,
like he was power walking.
But what that message is, no one has a clue.
Whistle, free kick awarded to Egypt just inside their own half. Right-hand side of the field, it was Elijah Just. Outstretched arm, judged handball. Fatua Ashur, the number 8, on the halfway line. Egypt, no way forward. They come back to Fati. He plays the ball into the centre circle, where Marwan Ate.
Interesting. The Egyptian players are looking forward, and clearly the New Zealand footballers are really closing down the spaces. A lot of those passes were going earlier on, and they're not getting through now. So clearly New Zealand have settled into the defensive shape they want, who's picking up who, and it's really denying some penetration to the Egyptians.
Here's Mohamed Salah, ball played long. He's got the better of Boxall. Now, top of the area. It's going to be cleared away by Callum McHardy, getting back. New Zealand scramble. Now they look to turn it into a counter-attacking opportunity, but Sarpreet Singh with the heavy touch allows Egypt to slide and win possession back. In fact, it was Zico down that right-hand side who just got the better of Boxall. That was a hairy moment. Now, better period of play for Egypt as they come over the halfway line. New Zealand sort of in a low block, dinked in towards the top of the area. Strong header away by Boxall. Just in the left full-back position, hooks the ball upfield. Chris Wood on his chest, holds off 2 Egyptian players. Stamanic is behind him, feeds the ball to him. Now Bell can calmly push it back to Boxall. And with 13 minutes gone, it remains 0-0 in Vancouver.
And we saw an example there of the difference between the Egyptian approach to Chris and the Iranian. Straight away as Chris gets the ball, he's double-teamed, and in that instance he was double-teamed from a midfielder coming from in front to make sure he couldn't turn. So they've clearly decided that they're not going to give him a free rein, because when they give him a free rein, New Zealand scored 2 cracking goals the other night, so they're not going to let that happen.
Ball play down the left-hand side. Stamanic is pushed up into a left wing position. He's got 2 players on, but he darts in between them. Beats 2. Feeds Elijah just inside the area. Shot on goal. Just turned away. They are looking sharp. No doubt about that. Great work from the New Zealand midfielder Stamanic to feed Elijah Just, and it could have been the first goal of the game. Good, smart save by Schubert.
It really was. Great play. Elijah's in there, but really, Chris is in the middle waving his arms. He's not happy. He could see the opportunity for just a simple tap-in. Elijah had every right to go for the shot, but isn't that was interesting. It was quite decisive, and they really got themselves in there, and, it's a corner, so you've got something out of it, but it'd be quite nice to have got a goal there to take control of the game, but shows how incisive they're trying to be now.
The big men all inside the 6-yard box, the two centre-backs. Staminit's 2 stands 1.88 metre. New Zealand do have a lot of height. The crowding should be in goal. Delivery needs to be bang on. Comes in. And it's headed into the back of the net by Finn Sermon. Towering header, blistering header, and New Zealand have the lead. Finn Sermon the goal, it's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0, 15 minutes gone.
That's an incredibly good goal. Finn Sherman's movement, he's got a V-shaped run where he's actually pushed in and then he's popped out, and he's just met the ball clean as anything, and it's just flowing into the back of the net.
Impressive. He's run across the 6-yard box. Where is the defending? And at the last, he's just slightly had to adjust, Chris, sort of go backwards, contorts himself, and bulldozes the ball into the back of the net.
That's a great header. That's exactly what you want your centre-backs to do. As I said, he went in, then he peeled around, he made a flat run across the box, and he just got up. And it was slightly behind him, but it actually helps somebody if it's slightly behind you, because you actually should be taking your head back, and he's just put it through. But let's not kid ourselves, that's 1-0.
This is not a drill. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0.
They really can't sit back now, because they've really got to play with the same sort of energy. You don't want to spend the next 75 minutes sitting back against an Egyptian team. You want to keep going and keep getting pressure and looking to get a second or even a third goal. But it's a tremendous start for the All Whites, and it will allow them to be more comfortable in the game. I thought against Iran, once they got the goal, they settled down and played some great football.
Bell, midway penalty area, halfway is New Zealand calmly in possession, rolling it back to the goal scorer. What a moment for Finn Sermon. His third goal for New Zealand and just his 21st international. We've got a high foot against Sarpreet Singh. He's clutching his face. Lasheen is going to go into the book. A yellow card for him. He's pleading his case, but our referee from the UAE not having it.
Well, yes, player safety is their number one priority, and he definitely lifted his foot and collected him. So, if we did that, we wouldn't complain about a yellow card, but it'll be interesting. I want to see if that becomes a little bit of frustration coming from them. They're a goal down. They've created a couple of half opportunities, but nothing they can cement themselves from. And hopefully that upsets them enough to give them us a period of time where we can take a bit of control of the game. I'd like to see a little bit of control, but we just see the movement here of Finn Sherman, and he's got up really well, but he's collected it clean as anything, and the people marking him have not really followed him. I mean, the two closest to him are about 2 to 3 feet off him, so which is the Egyptian coach will be livid with that.
Magnificent header. It's come out like a Sherman tank from Sermon. That is fired in.
And an assist from the corner from Club Olympia of Paraguay's finest, Tim Payne, as well.
Money well spent. Money well spent by Club Olympia. Oh, what a time to be alive.
It's just an amazing transfer. Just
it
amazing.
really is. It's hard to get your head around. So too the scoreline. 1-0. New Zealand lead Egypt. 18 minutes gone. Elijah just picks it up 35 yards from goal. He speeds forward. He shoots, deflects away for a throw-in. But I know we disagreed prior, but I think now this is where the pressure could become suffocating for Egypt. This is the game that they've highlighted. This is the one we get 3 points to get. This is against, the lowest ranked team at the World Cup prior to the tournament. They know their history.
Yeah, but there's a reason teams don't win at the World Cup, to hang in there for 90 minutes. We've seen the goals that go in the 97th minute, the 96th minute. So, and quality, they do have quality. I mean, you ain't got to get...
Oh, here's a ball in from nowhere, Chris, from the left-hand side, and I think it's forced the save at the near post from Schubert.
I'm not even sure where that came from.
Came from the defender.
That's a great. I'd love to get a replay. New Zealand still in attack. Left-hand side, Kakachi stands on the ball and falls over, unfortunately. Now we got a whistle as Sarpreet Singh coming across and grabbing the hips and probably goes in the book and does. First New Zealander to pick up a yellow card at this tournament. Quickly, Egypt go. They got numbers down this left-hand side. Ashur finds Fatua, the left fullback, comes in field, dropping it off to Ate. He's going to shift it to the right fullback. Haney to his right as Zico plays it inside right channel looking for Mo Salah. He dinks it back to his right fullback who was following in. And Egypt are going to win a corner. 19 and a half gone. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0.
I'd love to see a replay of how that ball managed to get itself in. I'm pretty sure I'm with you, Ricardo. I think the defenders just tried to hook it.
He's trying to hook that back to his goalkeeper. I don't know why you would do that blind in that position, but he has.
Corner taken oddly, backwards 25 yards. Now the pro back to the right-hand side, now feeding into the feet of Mo Salah. Back to goal, right on the edge of the area, the right-hand side of the area that is. Back to Haney, good ball in, up they go, and it's sliding off the head, I think, of Zico. He's pleading for a corner. He might have got it too. So corner coming to Egypt as they build some pressure. 20 minutes gone, quickly taken. Chris Milicic waving his hands wildly. What have you spotted?
I saw two Egyptian players running to the corner flag and all the Kiwis standing in the middle not bothering to go. And the least thing you want to do, because in that last corner they gained, they didn't choose to put the ball into the 6-yard box, which generally says to me they don't trust they're going to win the ball, so they're trying to move players before it comes in. Well, it was Ricardo. Their defenders tried to play it back to the goalkeeper, and McHardy's got in the end and tried to hook it in.
Weird. Probably the weirdest goal of the tournament. Although that Cape Verde goal against Uruguay might...
Yeah.
Great day of games not going to plan. Iran and Belgium, who play in this group, of course, 0-0 earlier today. And we've seen Uruguay and Cape Verde again picking up a point. 2 goals apiece. Ball back to Crocombe. Eyes back on the action. Vancouver, New Zealand leads through that Finn Sermon goal. Long ball looking for Chris Wood. He goes up. Fati loses sight of it, but luckily for him, his teammate is across to collect now with Hani, the right fullback, has sliced his ball down the right-hand side hopelessly. Zico screaming at him, so play it to my feet.
They look actually quite a bit concerned. I mean, they're playing balls that I would never associate with an Egyptian team. We've now got the, whatever they're calling it, drinks break or whatever we're calling it these days.
Break.
Yeah. But the reality is, this doesn't look like an Egyptian team. In the last 5 to 10 minutes, they've looked a bit nervous. They've created a few chances where you go, So early on, they started to keep possession. They moved the ball really well, and they nearly just gave New Zealand another goal with a random pass back that McHardy looked as surprised as anybody to get on the end of it.
Well, the first goal has been so important to Egypt throughout qualification. They only conceded 2, unbeaten in qualification. You wouldn't label them a high-scoring, free-scoring side. One they thought was going to be enough against Belgium until Romelu Lukaku came in, threw all of that hulking frame of his in the area and forced Haney into that own goal. Right, let's check in on the stats as the players have a drink. New Zealand, at the hydration break, are up over Egypt by 1-0. Ricardo Ball.
Yeah, they are, and they've done it with 36% possession. Egypt are eking that now with 47% of the possession, but in terms of attempts on goal, New Zealand edged that by 5-3. And a stat for you on our goal scorer, Finn Sermon is now the second youngest goal scorer for New Zealand at a World Cup at 22 years and 271 days, just behind Winston Reid. Winston Reid was 21 years old and 347 days.
And got a big move after a World Cup.
He did.
Got a big move.
He went from Denmark to East London.
That's true. For some reason, I had in the back of my head it was Winton, but...
Well, used to hold basically every record.
Yeah, but did he score in the 82?
No, it was Sumner and Wooden.
That's right.
Sumner and Wooden in 82, of course.
I've got the China goal in my head.
There you go.
Yeah. And this drinks break is basically going to allow the Egyptians to settle down. And I can understand why so many people are quite unhappy about it. New Zealand was quite dominant now. We're likely to see a completely different sort of settled down side. The Egyptian coach is in the middle of that huddle and he's going mental. You know, he's not happy at all. He's yelling, he's waving his arms, he's got his pads out, and he has managed to reset his team.
Well, that's what happened in the first game against Iran. It was very similar from their coach. He was very vociferous in the way he was barking at his team. And it worked. New Zealand had that great opening sort of 24 minutes, but didn't quite have the same sort of positive effect on the game after they came back from the hydration break. Let's see if Darren Baisley is able to inspire his team to keep this positive start. Great looking scoreline right now. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0.
It's an amazing scoreline when you think about it in a game that's do or die. Well, not do or die, but if you win, you take control of a group at a World Cup. That's just an unbelievable thought we're sitting right now.
So New Zealand will start play after a win out over the sideline. Libya Kakachi to have a throw. Play to resume 5 metres inside the Egyptian half. On the left-hand side of the field. New Zealand running from left to right. Picture that in your mind's eye. Wearing all white. Egypt in red with black shorts. Loose ball. Sees Salah. Zico, in fact, and he tries to do it. Mo Salah sort of outside of the left foot pass, but very high degree of difficulty. And the Russian judge doesn't like it, and it's back in possession with New Zealand.
I think one of the biggest compelling thing, it's a great run by Stamanic. The most compelling thing,
Eli just picks it up on the edge of the area. Chris Wood now, top of the box, lays it off, shot from Bell, blocked by two Egyptian players. Mo Salah picks it up quickly, trying to feed Marmouche, but Finn Sermon alertly across to cut it off, further increasing his price tag. But the loose ball collected once again by Egypt, left-hand side of the area. Here is a chance. Ashore leaves it to Marmouche. Shoots. Crocombe doesn't take cleanly. And Kakachi closes down the distance, gets between the Egyptian player and the ball, allowing Crocombe to get back to his feet. Oh, breathe, New Zealand. Good, powerful strike, but straight at Crocombe from Omar Marmouche.
It just shows you a drink break. This is now about the fourth attack we've had in about 35 seconds.
We might need another one this half. The New Zealand are playing at a pace I'm just not accustomed to, Chris, in this tournament.
As I was going to allude to before, I think having Bell and Stamanic, and especially Stamanic, who's now playing consistently in the championship, you've actually got players that understand how to...
Ball into Chris Wood, just at the near post on the 6-yard box.
Control the game.
Slides off his head. It's hard to get your words out, Chris.
I'll have to speak a lot quicker. But Stamanic is really, him and Bell are really controlling the game for the All Whites, and it's just the way they're doing it, the balance and the smoothness, but also never putting the ball at risk, which is generally taken away one of the key areas when teams press the All Whites. They can nick the ball at quite a higher part of the pitch, and they're just running it, and we've seen probably 3 or 4 times Stamanic is able to burst forward and go past Chris Wood, which you just never see.
Long ball by Egypt up towards on the left-hand side of that attacking 3. He's beaten to it by Finn Sermon. Out for a throw-in. Quickly to the number 8, who beats one, tries to get past Payne. Payne's just collected his foot and he's gone down, but I think the referee's awarded a throw-in.
Yeah, he's ordered a throw-in to the All Whites.
Tim Payne's just giving the Egyptians some advice on how to stay on your feet as we speak.
And Darren Bays just yelled at Payne to maybe not involve yourself in that. Oh, no, it's definitely a yellow. I mean, it's definitely a throw-in to the All Whites.
You think?
No, it's not a foul.
A little contact. Not enough.
It all depends on the interpretation of the referees. The referees come from all over the world to this tournament, and some believe in carte blanche, do whatever you like, and some believe in blowing everything up. But I think they've consistently across the tournament. I thought the Aussie-US game was a bit the only one where you kind of go, that was interesting.
Popovich agrees with you, but I think overall the tournament has been well run, not too many VAR controversies.
Yeah.
I tell you, the Belgium-Iran game, if you have not seen it, the Iranians were trying to swap shirts with the Belgians from the first minute to the 90th, and they got one yellow card the entire game.
Throw into Egypt, 5 metres shy of the halfway line on their side of the park. Sloppy ball into central midfield. Joe Bell gobbles that one up. 29 minutes gone. New Zealand lead by 1-0. Finn Sermon with the goal. Towering bullet header from a corner from 6 yards out. Chris Wood, nice nod on. McCowett nodding back into central position, but no white shirt there. There's a foul in the back of Mohamed Salah. Boxall. Salah gets up quickly, has a little chat to the referee about something.
Well, I think he thought that, I think it was Stamenic threw a ball away, which is always lovely, you know, that they're saints and everyone else is sinners doing the same thing.
Ball back with Fatih. Left-sided centre-back. Finds Yasser Ibrahim on the right-hand side. Now to Hani, the right fullback, playing down the line, but coming across Stamenic. She gets across the turf. There's a whole heap of work. Pushes out to that left flank and pushes it out over the sideline. A throw into Egypt. As we approach the half an hour mark, Vancouver, New Zealand up by 1-0.
I think this tournament could, Stamenic is the one Kiwi player that no one really talks about, but I think this is really cementing who he is, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see a transfer coming in for him in the window. He's big, he's mobile, and he's got a technical range that English Premier League teams would love.
And alongside Bell, here's the one who is charged with pushing up and joining in. Bell will sit deep, clean up a lot of the loose stuff, but Stamenic does have that athletic ability, no doubt. Here's Haney, right-hand side, looking for Mohamed Salah, back to goal, 35 metres from goal. New Zealand won't mind if he touches it there. Now, it's Zico. Zico is filthy with the officials. He wants the throw on. It's going to be a New Zealand throw. Mustafa Zico, 4th international. 2 goals. Was first called up in 2022, but only made his debut in 2026. And scored on debut, so he's had to wait his time. He's not a young'un either, at 29 years of age.
Interesting, it's his 4th game. He's played both at the World Cup so far.
Haney lays it off. Lachine into the feet of Salah, trying to drive past 2 New Zealand defenders. Kikache and Boxall good enough to clear the ball and send it down towards Chris Wood on the halfway line. Ibrahim gets in front. Second ball, who's going to come down with it? It's going to be Fatih in the middle of the field. To his left fullback. Fatua plays it into Marmouche. Marmouche dancing feet, betting 1-2. He couldn't get past the other 2. It was a box of all whites around him. That would have been spectacular.
Just watching this, they really need Mo Salah to do something to unlock what's going on. They're trying to play through, but they're lacking that sort of fluidity you would expect that would break down a very, very connected defence. So I would, and nobody's really playing in the 10 pocket, which was where the expectation was Mo Salah would be there. But right now he's
sort of inside right.
Yeah,
if anything.
Yeah,
sort of.
And I could see if that was how they set up to play, that would have been the right way. But New Zealand's just played easily down our right-hand channel, and we've got out.
Sarpreet Singh.
Yeah.
He looked like a fool there, Chris, as he decided to take a touch back.
Onto his left foot, which I was expecting to come right across the pitch.
But he's just taken the ball out, so a throw into Egypt. 32 and a half minutes gone. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0. Ball sprayed out into the right-hand side. Hani has a bit of space. The bouncing ball he controls on his chest. Goes down the line. Zico. 2 players on him. A little cheeky back heel. Back to his right fullback. He gives it back to Zico. They're just playing a little game amongst themselves, but New Zealand's defensive structure very sound, and they'll have to push it back to the halfway line. Now they'll probe towards the centre-left channel, where Ate finds Lachine. Stamenic again in the passing lane, gets a left shin on it, half cleared away. Loose ball picked up by Egypt as they come again. Chipped ball in towards the area. Sermon away. New Zealand, McHardy loses out and then dives in and gives away a free kick. He's going to go into the book, and this is a very dangerous position for the free kick. Yeah. It is right on the edge of the D, top of the area, sort of left-hand side of that D, and McHardy just misplayed it. Shaw picked up and he's cleaned him up, no doubt about that.
He let the ball bounce, and when it bounced, it got away from his body, and then he's lunged. He's tried to make up for it, and it's a horrible place for the Kiwis, because that is just, it's got Mo Salah on his left foot round the wall written on it all day.
There's 4 players around him, and I'm sure Mohamed Salah is not listening to any of them.
Yeah, the other 4 might as well run
Get away.
There's no way he's given this up.
This is my moment. 2 World Cup goals prior to this from 2018. A third would make him Egypt's all-time leading goal scorer at a FIFA World Cup. New Zealand fans do not want that. 5-man wall. Crocombe at his near post, his right post, just making sure that is aligned. Omar Marmoush is very good in these spots too.
You'd have to expect Mo Salah's going to hit this.
Is this better for a right footer?
No, it's all left foot here, because he can either go round the wall or he can cut it over the wall, and it depends what Crows does. Yeah, see?
It's got to be Marmoush flicking it back to Mohamed Salah, who bends it just wide. Crocombe was centre right in his goal, centre left in his goal, had to go to his right. I think he might have had it covered, but Mohamed Salah couldn't quite get the bend.
Oh, Tim Payne did a great job there. He just stepped slightly off the wall, making that Mo Salah's angle to become, and he's bent it by the same distance that Tim come off the wall. Bit of a risk by Tim, because he did leave an inside channel, but it was totally the correct move.
Long ball from Crocombe. Loose ball picked up by McHardy in the left wing channel. Hooks across in. Cleared away, but only as far as Stamenic. You can bring it down for New Zealand. 35.5 minutes gone. New Zealand lead by 1-0, and Boxall's going to go all the way back to Crocombe, who's 10 yards outside of his area. Hardly been closed down by Marmoush. Long ball down the left wing channel. The second ball's going to be won after the Egyptian header by New Zealand. Kakache finds just. He's got so much time, this kid, doesn't he? Now he just dribbles in field, feeds Chris Wood around the corner. First time ball looking for Sarpreet Singh, who's just gone to ground, shoulder to shoulder. I don't think there's anything wrong with that challenge.
No, there was nothing wrong with that, but it was a great move, and Chris has just fed it, and if Sarpreet picks that up, he's one-on-one. I mean, when you think about it, we're talking about a New Zealand team that's creating chances that look incredibly dangerous, not sort of a hack from a distance, hoping it goes in. So I'm really impressed with what Bays has done with these All Whites for this World Cup, to be honest.
Let's get a check on the stats with Ricardo Ball.
Yeah, total number of shots on goal, it's 7-5 in favour of New Zealand, which backs up what you're saying there, Chris. And in terms of passes into the final third, New Zealand now have had 32 incursions into the Egyptian final third versus 58. So they are a little, but they are breaking more at pace.
Well, it's that false counter-attacking that they're doing, you know, is once they pick it up and they break the first line and someone can half-turn, they're going. There's no ifs and buts there, just saying, right, we're going. Even here, Bell's about to hook it round the corner, saying, look, it's time to counter-attack, and they're fairly confident that Chris is going to win most of them.
Oh, loose touch from the left full-back. Tim Payne looking to feed Chris Wood. Top of the area, back to goal. Feeds it back to just, I think we've got an offside flag. Indeed, we have. But they are looking a little shaky at the back at times, Egypt.
I'd like to see that one again. The one thing that I think that a lot of people don't understand, it's actually quite difficult to defend a properly long, direct pass. It's not a long ball, it's not aimless football, but it's quite difficult because the striker of Chris Wood's size can get in the line of the ball, and there's nothing you can do about it.
He's such a constructive footballer.
Oh, he's
for
just
his stature, his frame.
And what a career.
Much admired and loved by us.
Yeah, and I just think he's a...
Wasteful from Egypt here. Bell plays quickly, sorry, Chris, over the halfway line. Kakachi Singh's further forward. Chris Wood's actually in a deeper role. He will find Singh running away on that left-hand channel. Has to come back. Finds Eli just 30 yards from goal. beats one, feeds Kakachi. Outside him is Singh. He bends it in looking for Chris Wood. Good keeping by Shubear, had to come off his line. He's got two hands just above Chris Wood's head, palmed it up, and then caught it, and then goes long. Now a race. Marmouche against Sermon. Sermon too strong. The Sherman tank's done it at both ends.
Goalkeeper did a good job there because it was a goal otherwise. Chris was posted, it was dropping down, and he sort of fumbled a little bit at the beginning, but he managed to get both hands on it. But isn't that it's an indication of the All Whites' willingness to put balls into dangerous areas.
One goal separates these two sides after 39 minutes. One goal separated them the last time they played. A couple of years ago, it was 1-0 to Egypt. I think a penalty on that occasion.
Where was that game played?
It was played in Cairo. It was one of those FIFA series.
First FIFA series they played. I think it was Mohamed from a penalty after 29 minutes. No Mohamed Salah that day, no Chris Wood. I think Ben Old started as the centre forward. I'm not sure there's much we can read into it. We've got a slight break in play here on the 40-minute mark, as one of the Egyptian players has gone down and is receiving some attention. Can't quite make out what number, as he's now completely surrounded by support staff. New Zealand taking the opportunity to run to the sideline, have a drink.
I didn't see anything happen there.
It might just be a soft tissue injury, I think.
No, it's just Fati, who's just fallen over.
Oh, yeah.
He's okay. He's back to his feet. Considering what we've seen in football in the last few years, when you see a player just fall to the ground when no one's around him, your heart does skip a beat.
It really does.
He is back. He's okay. Maybe he just got wooded.
Wooded?
Yeah. Not winded, wooded. But he's going to the sideline, and it looks like they're making a change. So Rabia is going to come on. Rami Rabia, the 33-year-old, 48th international. Big lump of a lad. He is a real danger from set piece. And with this Egyptian side chasing a goal.
And that, I don't know, something tells me that might be a little bit tactical, because he is a big lump of a lad, and they have really been struggling with Chris receiving the ball. So maybe they've just decided it's an opportunity to get a bigger lad. And I would have thought they would have waited 4 minutes, though, if it was not an injury induced, because it's a free sub.
So that's sub made. Egypt playing the ball aimlessly down the left wing channel. Sermon's across. Calmly shoots it up to Wood. Geez, a good leaper.
People don't realise he's massive, though.
Massive, but he got up so high and sort of headed it up and was able to bring it down. Problem was he came back from an offside position. Free kick awarded to Egypt. 42nd minute. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0. New Zealand through Finn Sermon in the 15th minute. If you're just tuning into our coverage here on Sport Nation, host broadcaster of FIFA World Cup 2026. Great to have you along. It's going to be a nervy hour or so. History beckons as a free kick is awarded in the left wing position for Egypt. Fatua, the left fullback, has just run into Tim Payne. The two fullbacks coming together. This is about 6 or 7 yards in from that left-hand sideline, maybe 30 yards from goal. Dangerous area. They can whip it in. So Max Croken barking some orders. He'll ask for a two-man wall just on the edge of the area. So right-footed in-swinger. That will sort of bend in between penalty spot and 6-yard box. The big man, the new man, is up there. Headed away in front of Rabia by New Zealand, and they'll just send it route one downfield and then allow themselves to push up. Get out of the area.
Bays will be really hoping they can get to half-time, still leading 1-0. Make a massive difference. You know, you don't want the opposition to score just now, and then their tails are up. But right now, you know, he'd be extremely happy with what he's seen. We don't look like we're under any sort of damage, or we're not under any sort of danger. And the damage that's coming in, we're coping with it. So it's hopefully, you know, I mean, what are we, 2 minutes to go? So And they're playing well.
Ball played into the feet of Zico, who goes down. It's Marmouche who goes down under challenge. Joe Bell just clipping his ankles.
It's not even a foul. Sorry.
Chris Milicic rips off his glasses in disgust. So again, another dangerous position for this free kick to be taken in line with the top of the area, about 3 or 4 yards out. There's not much contact, Chris, for you to say.
No, but,
there's enough.
There's enough for the referee, but loads of referees would have just gone play on.
It's not in line with the top of the area. It's about 5 yards back. It's very similar to the last one. They go short this time, but it breaks down. That is a waste from Egypt. They're certainly showing possession of territory over the last 10 or so minutes, but nothing too worrisome for Crocombe to deal with.
We've just got to be a bit careful. I don't like the way that we're kind of letting them come now.
Ball in from Ashur, left wing sides. Did that clip a New Zealander? No, it's just going to be a goal kick. You're sitting too deep, you mean?
Yeah, we're letting them come, and I get we've got to let them come so that we can do the false counter-attack, but they're now in and around our goal box. It's much easier if we're picking up the ball in the mid-third, but the moment they're getting in and around our goal box, and that's not where we want them to be, because then it's just one mistake or one error or one great shot.
And you're right, Daniel, about the possession stats. Egypt now eking over 51% of possession, and the contested possession sitting at 12%.
Kakachi. His dink ball found Stamanic. He tried to find Wood. 4 added minutes. 4 minutes before half-time. We're into added time now. Back to goal, Marmouche played into his feet. He does well and shoots the ball to the advancing right fullback. Haney galloping forward. He drops Zico to his right. Salah on the centre forward channel. He finds Zico. He gets his ball in, but New Zealand count them all, Chris. There's about 7 inside the area. They scramble back, maintain structure, clear the danger. But Egypt are finishing strong.
It's much easier to defend a 1-0 than anything else. You'll run to your dive.
Ball inside the 6-yard box, and it was a chance. A left foot stuck out, and it's just slid off the shin, I think, of Imam Ashur, who scored in game 1. It looked like it was going to be 2-2. But he spurned a great opportunity.
He's got to put that away, but what a great cross that was. But once again, I don't know whether we're settled for half-time or whatever, but you've really got to just keep doing what they were doing before. I'm sure Bays will get them sorted in the second half, but that was interesting.
Sermon did enough to just get a cross and close the distance, and maybe, just maybe, Chris, that sort of blinded the attacker. He may have just lost it.
Yeah,
because it was an awkward sort of lunge. It looked.
It was.
But it should be one apiece.
If you get your foot onto it in the middle of the 6-yard box, it really should be making the keeper save or hitting target. He's just shanked that off his shin, I reckon.
Minute 40 of the 4 added minutes to be played. New Zealand lose possession of the base of the Egyptian centre circle. They can come 4. They've got good numbers too. They're in a good moment. Egypt at the moment. Fatua, the left fullback, finds that's Arte. He comes back, finds Marmouche. Marmouche, though, I'm not sure what he is thinking. As he looks skyward, he tried to play the ball forwards into Ashur's feet, but nowhere near him, and through to Crocombe, who understandably waits and waits for Marmouche to come and close him down before picking the ball up. 2 minutes 15 of the added 4 played in Vancouver. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0. Crocombe goes very long, well over the halfway line, headed away and out by Egypt. So a throw, maybe 35 yards from goal. It's going to be Payne. Singh brought down, needs to hold his feet according to the referee. No whistle. Sermon, great strength. Well, for an almost similar act, Sermon is judged to have brought down the Egyptian forward.
That was odd. That was in like 10 seconds. The first foul on Singh was waved on, and Finn did the same thing, and it's suddenly a foul. And this is a sort of moment where the game can swing a little bit. You just get a little bit of momentum, and the Egyptians have certainly got all the momentum, right now, and they would love to get a goal before half-time, but it's much simpler for New Zealand to defend when it's like this than in that counter-attack we've been watching where the numbers are much more even.
Haney tries to get past Elijah Just, but cannot. It's out over the sideline. New Zealand to throw. 3 minutes 30 of the 4 added. Kakachi goes quickly down the line, nodded on by Wood. Ball spits back into a central position. Macau tries to give it back to the New Zealand captain. Elijah Just goes back, keeps it in. No, it's out for a throw-in. Final seconds of the first half. New Zealand up by 1, but Egypt finishing strongly in Vancouver to end the first 45 minutes. Ball played out onto this near touchline with the left winger. Ashur has Fatua, the left fullback. No way forward. He'll come back in. He'll find Arte. Arte finds Rabia, the substitute, but the whistle sounds. The first half comes to a close, and New Zealand have the lead at the break. The bulldozing Finn Sermon from the corner. A powerful header after 15 minutes has given the All Whites the lead. You can taste it, you can feel it, Chris.
You really can, but that's a tremendous half by the All Whites. It was probably in their last sort of 7 or 8 minutes, including extra time, where the game sort of changed.
So Sermon's goal has New Zealand in front at the half. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0, our halftime show after this.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history. The world remembers the glory, that we live for the road. And across every mile, every engine, and every dream, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, the original engine oil. Proud supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans' journeys everywhere.
Ever feel like you're ready for more but not sure what's next? Maybe you've outgrown your job or you're ready for something that matters. At Victoria Police, get more out of your everyday. With hundreds of career options, who knows where the job could take you? Wherever you go, you'll be part of a community and team that has your back. Your life outside of work is supported too, with 9 weeks annual leave. If you're ready for more, search Police Careers. Victoria Police. Recruiting now. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Footy's better at the pub with the Big Footy Score Scratch and Win. Download the Pub Plus app and head to your local Pub Plus venue on game days for a chance to score over $500,000 prizes, including a footy trip to Vegas. Why watch from the couch when you could be winning? Download the Pub Plus app today. Oz residents 18 plus, 1 entry per transaction. See bigfootyscore.com.au for TCs, permits and participating venues. Drink responsibly.
Get home from your local, get Pub Plus. Want winter fragrances that smell as good as the deals? Run, don't walk to Chemist Warehouse. This week, pick up Coach by Coach 30ml EDP for just $39.99. For something deliciously floral and fruity, get Cora's Midnight Dahlia 50ml EDT, now $59.99. Now something spicy and woody, get Victor & Rolf Spice Bomb 50ml EDT, only $89.99. And the captivating Rabanne Olympia 80ml EDP or Parfum is now from $119.99 each. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
It's official. 3 of Australia's biggest players, Money Magazine, Finder and Mozo, all declared Hostplus the best super fund winner. That's 3 big wins for your super. 3 from 3. That's a plus. Awards and ratings are only one factor to consider. Issued by Hostplus Pty Limited. General advice only. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Search Compare Hostplus today.
For over a century, Cyclone has armed Australians with the strongest, most reliable garden tools. Trusted by trade professionals and home gardeners alike, Cyclone tools are engineered for superior performance in tough Aussie conditions. When you pick up a Cyclone product, you're holding a tool made to perform and made to endure. The #1 name for Australian garden tools, Cyclone Tools. Available at Bunnings Warehouse, Mitre 10 and independent garden retailers.
Here's another powerful reason to choose Tyre Power. With more than 290 stores right across the country, we're Australia's biggest group of independent tyre retailers, which means our buying power gives you the power of lower prices on a huge range of leading tyre brands. Get the power to save on your next set of tyres at Tyre Power. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local independent owner.
In the market for a quality Australian manufactured shed? Because right now, you can save 15% off a Best Shed shed before end of financial year. But hurry, this 15% off end of financial year sale must end June 30. So the sooner you treat yourself to a Best Shed shed, the more you'll save on one of their built-to-last Aussie-built sheds that also come with a 20-year manufacturer's warranty. Hurry, save 15% off for a limited time at bestsheds.com.au.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Delivery needs to be bang on. Comes in. And it's headed into the back of the net by Finn Sermon. Towering header. Blistering header. And New Zealand have the lead. Finn Sermon the goal. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0. 15 minutes gone.
Yes, you heard right. It is New Zealand 1, Egypt 0, thanks to a Finn Sermon header. And this is your halftime show for Sport Nation. Studs Up World Cup coverage with our halftime partner, Kogan Mobile, broadcast sponsor of Sport Nation's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026, your official radio broadcaster. With me, we've got Nathan Elaine and Chris Milicic to look back at that first half. Millie, it is a first half. Where New Zealand scored a goal. They managed to defend a lead. They go into half-time, the first time in 8 World Cup matches for the All Whites that they have led a game at half-time.
Yeah, well, when you said that before, I was a bit surprised. I somehow had an impression in the back of my head that we led the Italians at half-time. But that's shows you how far we've evolved as an All-White, a men's national team going into this World Cup. If you'd have said we'll be leading Egypt 1-0 at half-time, people would have taken anything to get that. So it's, to be fair, they've deserved it. They've created other opportunities, and it wouldn't, as I was saying before, it wouldn't have surprised me if we'd gone 2-0 up in that first half.
Yeah, well, they had an opportunity to go 2-0 up, but Nathan, Elaine with us, of course, TVNZ commentator as well. And Nathan, we've had the shots, 3 shots on target to 1 against Egypt here, and a couple more opportunities could be looking slightly differently at halftime.
Yeah, you talk about the All Whites leading at half-time for the first time. As Chris said, they deserve it, especially for the first 30 minutes or so. They were playing some really nice football. They had runners right and left. You look at Chris Wood, he's holding the ball up. He's occupying the Egyptian defence. They don't know what to do with him. They don't know if they can let him turn. They don't know if they should crowd him out. And he's like a magnet attracting players towards him. And then he's just laying the ball off. It's terrific football. The runners they've got off the ball as well in those opening 30 minutes was such good football to watch. And it was almost as if, this is the kind of performance you should be expecting from the All Whites now, right? We watched the Iran game. They did the same thing in the first half against Iran, and here they are again. Is this what they play like now?
Apparently it is. And it is something that until that Iran game, you rightly point out, we hadn't really seen from this All Whites team, Chris, this type of play.
Well, I said a few weeks ago on the radio, I thought the loss against the Haitians was the best thing that could have happened, because they went and played England, and England made them have to defend in a really great shape, and I don't know how much it influenced, but I've noticed since that game the attitude in the team is significantly different when it becomes closing down the opposition passing lanes. And if you keep winning the ball because you're defending properly, you can spring counter-attacks. And I think we've seen it. See there, I mean, we're just watching a replay. Elijah Justice could have pulled it, got a shot off, keeper's made a save. And that only comes from when you're defensively really sound.
Yeah, defensively, they've looked reasonably good through most of this first half. What do you think the conversation is at half-time? Simon Elliott, no doubt, will be in there along with Darren Bazley talking to this team.
Well, I think that's more of the same, please, gents. I mean, as Chris was saying in comms there, they did start to sit back a little bit and let the Egyptians come onto them. So I think, you don't want to start like that in the second half. You want to make sure you're front-footing it again. You're using those combinations you've got. There's a long, long way to go in this second half. The quality of Mamouche and Salah, etc. So, not inviting the pressure and going for it is crucial.
Our halftime partner is Kogan Mobile. Get awesome prepaid plan bargains at Kogan Mobile. Kogan Mobile, good call. Broadcast sponsor of Sport Nation's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Your official radio broadcaster is Sport Nation. We'll be back with more after this.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
In the market for a quality Australian manufactured shed? Because right now, you can save 15% off a Best Shed shed before end of financial year. But hurry, this 15% off end of financial year sale must end June 30. So the sooner you treat yourself to a Best Shed shed, the more you'll save on one of their built-to-last Aussie-built sheds that also come with a 20-year manufacturer's warranty. Hurry, save 15% off for a limited time at bestsheds.com.au.
For 160 years, Valvoline, the original engine oil, has witnessed moments that made history and the devotion of fans that keeps the world moving. Across every mile and engine, Valvoline has protected them all. Valvoline, official supporter of the FIFA World Cup 2026 and fans everywhere.
Installerine, Installerine, Installerine.
For the hottest of hot party you've ever seen. Ream comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on.
Save on hot water energy use by up to 73% with Ream Ambi Heat Heat Pump.
Installerine.
Accept nothing less than Australia's best.
The Sounding Board with Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett. It's sport, it's the media, it's talking about the issues that matter.
I don't mean to point out the bleeding obvious, but for 25 years, Rhett, you've made a living of pinching and scraping other people's content. For you to be the person sitting in judgment of someone else doing it is nearly the ultimate irony in Australian media. To my enjoyment, I love the content. I read it. I follow all your handles. I think it's great. But if anyone's going to sit in judgment, can we just agree that someone who pinches content for a living is not the best person to be judging someone else do it? Is that fair and reasonable?
I think this goes back to him somehow revealing a lot of old TV broadcasts of you.
Which I enjoy.
Which you, I do too.
I'm a willing consumer and supporter of Rhett ripping off other people's content. So the fact that AI is now starting to do it, it's like Rhett got offended. Wait a minute, there's someone else in here doing this.
The Sounding Board podcast with Hutchie and Damo. Thanks to Drinkwise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
Footy's better at the pub with the Big Footy Score Scratch and Win. Download the Pub Plus app and head to your local Pub Plus venue on game days for a chance to score over $500,000 prizes, including a footy trip to Vegas. Why watch from the couch when you could be winning? Download the Pub Plus app today.
Oz residents 18 plus, 1 entry per transaction. See bigfootyscore.com.au for TCs, permits and participating venues. Drink responsibly.
Get home from your local, get Pub Plus.
Want winter fragrances that smell as good as the deals? Run, don't walk to Chemist Warehouse. This week, pick up Coach by Coach 30ml EDP for just $39.99. For something deliciously floral and fruity, get Cora's Midnight Dahlia 50ml EDT, now $59.99. Now something spicy and woody, get Victor & Rolf Spice Bomb 50ml EDT, only $89.99. And the captivating Rabanne Olympia 80ml EDP or Parfum is now from $119.99 each. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
It's official. 3 of Australia's biggest players, Money Magazine, Finder and Mozo, all declared Host Class the best super fund winner. That's 3 big wins for your super. 3 from 3. That's a plus. Awards and ratings are only one factor to consider. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. General advice only. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Search Compare Host Plus today.
When you're stuck in a long queue or sitting for a new hairdo, add some thrill to your wait with our $40 million jackpot every 3 minutes. Keno Go. Download now. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Teams ready to go. They're back out in the middle of this gorgeous stadium in Vancouver with New Zealand up by 1-0. New Zealand, I'm sure, will be aware that one goal may not be enough for all 3 points, particularly the way the first half finished, with momentum very much shifting back towards Egypt's way. They had a great opportunity with Ashur inside the 6-yard box. Ball whipped in. He couldn't quite get the left leg to it, and that should be a warning shot. Well, on the other side, a loss today will leave Egypt last in Group G with 1 game to go, and you might think Chris Milicic, our coach at Sport Nation, that their coach, he knows he's going to force his hand at some stage. He has to.
He has to. And I think the key for the next 15, 20 minutes is New Zealand can't sit back. I don't think you want to invite the pressure and let it come and come and come, because they've got enough quality. And I think that as you keep getting opportunities, if the All Whites can get opportunities in the first 15 minutes, even if it's 1 or 2, the Egyptians still have to take, it's not soon enough for them to get go. It depends when they decide to put their foot down and go at the All Whites with risk, that's when the game will change. We'll get another chance when they do that, if we're still pressing and going high.
Of course, both teams targeting their maiden FIFA World Cup win. New Zealand have, of course, shared the points in their last 4 games, while Egypt, their history dates back to 1934. Yet to grab all 3 competition points. And the North Africans have never trailed at half-time in a FIFA World Cup fixture up until now. They are behind. They will be running from left to right, wearing red shirts, black shorts. New Zealand and their number 1s, the All Whites. Can they hold on? Stay with us here on Sport Nation. This could be an agonising 45 minutes, as Egypt will start in possession. Don't think any changes made at the break. Of course, Egypt had to replace their centre-half, Fatih, in the first half, bringing on Rami Rabia, who's in possession now. So he's slid to the left-hand side of the partnership with Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Lachine, nice ball down the right wing side, advancing as the right fullback. Early ball in, there's numbers inside the area. It's a scramble. It was Mohamed Salah, got an ankle to it. It crept to Crocombe, who got down. Early warning shot. You need to wake up, New Zealand.
Yeah, that was interesting. The All Whites sat off and allowed a pretty diagonal ball, well, not a diagonal ball, a straightish ball down the channel without any pressure. So if we're going to sit off like this, we're actually inviting too much pressure, and yeah, players aren't stepping out like they were. So let's just see what happens, but it's certainly changed.
Now there's space on the left-hand side. Ashur drops the shoulder, gets towards the byline, looking to cut back. He does, back onto his right foot. He's got numbers. He comes back in centrally, diagonal ball towards Mohamed Salah. He's not going to win that header as Boxall calmly gets up, heads it away into the path of Marmouche, who's brought down 30 yards from goal in a central position by McHardy. He's got the hands out, palms extended. And what's that about? The referee warding free kick. I must admit, the Mexican referee in game number 1 I thought was simply excellent. Consistency, let the game go. There's been a little bit of confusion with some of these fouls, as now Egypt gets another chance. It's certainly within range. It's at the back end of the range for someone like Marmouche.
It would be more challenging to score this. I'm not saying they can't, but
here's the strike, and he's dragged it wide into the left. Just pulled it away. Again, it was dinked with the first touch from the free kick. They went quite quickly. New Zealand were not set.
Yeah, Egypt certainly come out here to go, and they're going to try and get the goal they need as soon as possible. And to be fair, New Zealand's come out of the blocks not quite with the same level of intensity. But most interesting, I think the one thing that could affect this game is the fact that the Egyptians had to have a substitution in the first half. They've only got 2 more windows, and that could really affect their ability to change the game.
And just on that, Rami Rabia, who has come on the centre-back, when these 2 teams met in that FIFA window in 2025, he came out as man of the match in that 1-0 win.
He's in position now.
Yeah, this is different. They're carrying the centre-backs carrying the ball into the guts of New Zealand's front 2, therefore opening up channels in other places. So, yeah, I think that New Zealand haven't really come out of the sheds that well.
Yeah, all sitting behind the halfway line. Chris Wood furthest forward is looking to press. Ibrahim to the right-hand side they go. Played into the right wing channel. Mohamed Salah running from a central position. Out. Not quick enough. Boxall plays into Kakachi. Kakachi goes down under challenge, and then there's a very late delayed whistle, maybe looking to play advantage. The New Zealanders want the free kick. They get the free kick 30 yards out from their own goal line. Just a reminder of what has taken place at FIFA World Cup today. Earlier it was Spain beating Saudi Arabia by 4-0. Belgium and Iran in Group G, of course, alongside New Zealand. Egypt played out a 0-0 draw, making this an even more high-stakes game for New Zealand, while Uruguay and Cape Verde have finished at 2 goals apiece. New Zealand lose possession, 40 yards out. Sarpreet Singh, not for the first time, dispossessed. Marmouche shoots from the top of the area, ricocheting now right across the face of the area. Cross nicely as Kakachi gets in front of Haney. But Egypt, as they did in the back end of the first half, starting strongly to start the second. Here's a long-range attempt from Ashur. Are you sure about that? Not sure that was the right decision. I know he was emboldened by his first international goal in game number 1. That was with his right foot, not as strong with his left. Egypt appealing for a deflection. Want a corner, not going to get it. Crocombe is going to go long. Singh leaping. Nabia too strong. Mohamed Salah finds Zico on the left-hand side. It's Marmouche. He shoots into a retreating Tim Payne. Deflects all the way up towards the halfway line. New Zealand really on their heels in the opening few minutes as we approach the 50-minute mark. They still lead importantly, though. New Zealand 1, Egypt 0. But it's a red wave at the moment.
They're just going to have to soak this up. There's no way they can sort it out for now. Slowly they'll get back into the game, but they've just got to soak this up, but keep denying opportunities. But that's probably the third time we've seen an Egyptian player receive the ball on their back foot actually facing the New Zealand goal. Lovely flick from Marmouche finding Atua, the left fullback. Good ball in towards the penalty spot, looking for Zico, cleared away once more by Sermon. McHoward does well to keep it in the field of play and find Sarpreet Singh. He plays a ball behind Just does so well to keep the ball away from 3 players converging in on him. Now played again out right-hand side, New Zealand. Sloppy, they've cuffed it up again, 35 yards from goal. Ashur's going to shoot. No, he feigns the shot, tries to feed his centre forward. Cleared away. Chris Wood back to goal. Midway, halfway in penalty area, New Zealand side. He lays it back. Ball's chipped down the left wing side. Just good strength. How can one so small be so strong? Then he drops the shoulder, goes back outside. He's taken to ground. Play on is the call. Kakachi bursts forward, wins it back. Oh, this is Livy Kakachi of old. He beats a couple but can't beat a third. End-to-end stuff as it was early in the first half. No lack of pace in this game. New Zealand have woken up.
Just feeds Bell now Kakachi 30 yards from goal, tries to bend it in towards the centre forward channel where Sarpreet Singh had made a run, and Lachine clears it out and then throws his arm in disgust at his teammates for allowing the New Zealanders that much space. That's better from the All Whites.
Yeah, first 5 minutes. It took them 5 minutes to get into it, and now they're into it. Ooh, that's a great run.
And from Stamanic and a glancing header from Callum McHoward and a brilliant save from Shuvia.
That's a hell of a ball by Stamanic. He's just slipped it in. McHoward's made a run from midfield, and he's just managed to get up in front of the keeper and flick it. And the keeper's backing away. Oh, that's a great save. He's managed to get both hands up and put it over the crossbar. That could easily have gone on the goal. So that's a great run by McHoward. But as I said, the All Whites have woken up and they've survived that 5 or 6 minutes where it could easily have been a goal.
Certainly helps being 1.95 metre, the tallest player in the Egyptian squad. Big career ahead of him. Already won 3 African Champions Leagues with Al Ahly. And now he's got to defend. New Zealand scored through a corner in the first half. Tim Payne delivered it then. He delivers now. Ball in towards the back post. Sermon was the target. Header away. Headed back by New Zealand. Wood goes up, goes down under challenge. Whistle, no whistle. And strong is Schubert as he comes out, grabs it. He kicks the ball away early. And what have we got?
It'll be a free kick. Finn Sherman blocked him and they played on. And
okay, so we'll come back inside the Egyptian area and a free kick. New Zealand has some large humans. And a set piece are going to trouble sides. That's a really good save because the sun's sort of creeping through, the window's high. in Vancouver, and he would have been looking directly at it.
He would have just shoved his hands up and hoping to God it hit his fingers.
Here's Mohamed Salah trying to twist away from Boxall. Says no. Now gets a ball in from the left-hand side of the area, across the face, along the carpet, but just swept away and out. Egypt playing with more intensity and pace. All the throw-ins are quick. Free kicks are quick. They want to up the tempo. They need to.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're playing in the 11 and 7 pocket. They're coming inside and they're helping it around the corner to the overlapping fullbacks, which is causing quite a big problem and therefore nullifying Elijah Justin McCowart's ability to put pressure on their own fullbacks. It's quite a clever change, actually.
Now back at the base of the New Zealand centre circle is their centre halves. That's how high they are. New Zealand are sitting very, very deep. Marmouche pirouettes away from Payne. To his left is Fatua. Back to the number 22. He comes in centrally. Ashur. Now Arte to the left fullback. This is neat play from Egypt. There's a chance for Zico, and it's deflected by Finn Sermon. From 8 yards out, it looked like it was going to be one apiece, but Sermon put that hulking frame in the way and said, nah. And New Zealand quickly move upfield. Wood in the left wing position. No numbers near him, so he's got to go back to Kakache. Tries to play a 1-2 with Wood. Wood's return ball in field is too strong. Just trying to press. Nicely manoeuvred away from him. Fabio finds the centre midfielder, Marwan Arte, on the halfway line. Nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half. Egypt dominating, but New Zealand leading. The All Whites 1, Egypt 0. 55th minute of play.
They are dominating, but we've had the best chance.
Long ball over the right wing side, looking for Hani, but it's too strong for him, outstretched. And that's going to be a goal kick to the Kiwis.
Oh, that's a good block. Finn Sherman's put his leg out and it's just blocked. It was probably going in. Max Crocon was going to his left, so it probably would have been a goal. But then, in saying that, we're actually falling into the counter-attack, and Egypt's quite dominant. We could get it here.
Long ball, Liza just beaten to it by the Egyptian keeper. Quickly upfield, Mohamed Salah on the right-hand side. Michael Boxall, he's still got gas. Gets across, closes and pushes Salah out of the way and wins a throw, and does Mo Salah, though. 35 yards from goal.
This is a cat and mouse game there. If the All Whites can get a second goal with a counter-attack or a break, which they've had a couple of times now, the game's over, really. But if Egypt get back into it, both teams are going stalemate again.
New Zealand again very deep, all in their final third. Down this right-hand side, here's a chance for Arte to whip a ball in. Arte, rather, out for a corner, away by Libby Kikache. Aaron Baisley having a long chat to Simon Elliott. They'll go short. Play it out. Now back towards the right-hand side. I'm sorry, Chris. Explain that corner routine, because
they don't trust the inside players to actually attack the ball with any velocity. Therefore, they're giving the ball away, and you can counter-attack immediately if they miss it. So they're going short, hoping to get the Kiwis to make mistakes.
Right. Great analysis, Chris Milicic, alongside me, Daniel McHardy in commentary. Ricardo Ball 2. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 0. Nearly 57 minutes gone. Egypt running from left to right. Plenty of possession. Most of the second half played in the New Zealand half. A white wall in front of the area, dinked in towards it, but Boxall calmly headers away, but only as far as Mohamed Salah bends a ball in, trademark left foot, outside of that left foot, trying to bend it into the penalty spot, but Crocombe was quickly off his line to take.
I tell you, Darren and Simon will be desperately trying to work out how they can stop this overload on the outside of the fullbacks, which has been caused by the wingers coming in. And it means the pressure on Elijah Justin, McCowart to actually backtrack is stopping them having any capacity in the counter-attack. So wouldn't surprise me if we see a substitution from probably McCowart shortly. Plus, he's also on a yellow card. He's kind of flowing in for a tackle that borderline. So
dancing shoes of Marmouche, who's drifted more sort of wide left in the early stages of this half. Arte, 30 yards from goal, pings the ball out to Hani. Good ball in from the right fullback, and there's the equaliser. Zico has it this this time. It's been coming. He was unmarked. And he too bangs a smart header, bursting through the hands of Max Crocombe. And it's New Zealand 1, Egypt 1, 59 minutes played.
Yeah, and it came from what we were just talking about before, just a cross that was created. And unfortunately, I think in this time we didn't get enough pressure on the ball. They got a very good cross in, and Zico's just come through and headed it in. And you'd have to say right now, Egypt's got all the momentum because of what's happened previously. So the All Whites should be looking to make a substitution fairly soon. We look how narrow the All Whites are. It's gone wide. They're trying to get there, but they can't get there, and nobody's picked up the run. You know, he's a midfielder coming there, and Darren will not be happy.
That a similar position to the Iranian second goal as well in terms of that header. What's going on there with that central too?
Well, it's actually between Tim Payne this time.
Yeah, but it's really their midfielders coming through, and one of every
there were more
coach,
numbers in the area.
But every coach will tell you, if you've been on a coaching course, the number one way goals are conceded is players that will not or cannot track their players. And a player should not have a free header in the box. We've scored from a free header and they've scored from one, but it was the inability to get pressure on the outside cross that became the problem, not necessarily the run in the middle.
Right, cool heads required for New Zealand. It's all level and a whole heap of time to go. Momentum with the Pharaohs. They come again. 35 yards from goal, playing it out to the right wing channel. Here's Haney again, finding Mohamed Salah back to goal and tried to twist away from Stamanic. Bell came across, got an important toe in. New Zealand looking to counter. They've got McHardy flooding forward on the left-hand side. Rabia comes across. He's surrounded by 3 Egyptian players, and New Zealand now can push up. They've won a throw-in line at the edge of the top of the area, left-hand side of the field. But how on earth did Mohamed Hani, after delivering the assist for the first goal, find himself in that much space, Chris?
Yeah, but it goes back to what we were saying. There's something going on with the wingers inside that are opening up the outside pocket, and unfortunately we haven't adjusted anything yet to stop that.
Long throw by Kakacha, headed away. Boxall nods it back in. Hani out to Boxall. He tries to bring it down. That looked like a handball to me. Play on is the call. Boxall's gone down. He's holding his right ankle. He's not happy. He's up. Delivering a sermon from the Mount.
Well, he better get going.
The Egyptian fans finding their voice. There's plenty of energy from them and their players at the moment. We're past the 60-minute mark. Diagonal ball right wing side. Assure, he's going to be brought down under challenge by Libby Kakache. And all the 50-50 calls seem to be going the way of the Egyptians at the moment.
Yeah, the Egyptians have changed the way they're playing from what they did in the first half, and they're reaping the reward from it. I haven't seen any changes from the All Whites to stop it, so we're going to continue to see a lot of crosses coming in and opportunities for the Egyptians if we don't sort out who's picking up that inside channel with the overlapping fullback.
There's all sorts of action inside the area. Players have just fallen over. Not sure exactly what's been spotted by the referee. Lau blasted the whistle. Ball was dinked into the top of the area. Before the ball's got into the area, the players have gone down. As Boxall had Rabia sort of walking over the top of him. Anyway. And now we replay, and exactly the same thing happens as Libby Kakache's pushed over. And this time a whistle.
This is actually...
So Rami Rabia, the big rig, the first half substitute, we did mention he's a menace from set piece and scoring goals, also bullying players, it would seem.
But this is good for New Zealand. I mean, this takes away their momentum, and I don't know why he's doing that, because he's getting himself involved in all sorts of rubbish, and New Zealand have got an opportunity to settle down. In a game of football, if you're on top, you want the ball to just keep going. You don't want to suddenly stop for stupid fouls and histrionics that mean nothing.
So, period of possession for New Zealand. Can they build some confidence through their passing? With Payne on the halfway line, he's closed quickly by Marmouche, who's very much playing in that wide left forward at the moment. Zico playing more centrally alongside Mohamed Salah.
So, for those listening, what's happened is New Zealand's actually on the ball now, and because they're taking a touch, or it's quite often 2 and 3 touches, they're slowing the way we play down, and we're not actually penetrating into the Egyptians at all like we were. So we've gone away from that counter-attacking style, which is a false counter-attacking, to trying to play possession through, and that's also causing issues for a lack of pace for us.
Stamanic across the centre circle, down the right wing side, paying in a bit of space to run into. He applies the brakes, goes back. New Zealand just rolling the ball sedately to each other. Stamanic midway centre circle and penalty area. McHardy feeds Wood, lays it off to Bell. McHardy again stepping up, good defending from Egypt, getting in the way, clearing it. Who will get the loose ball? It's going to be Libby Kikache. Now McHardy takes it off him. Inside left channel into the knee of Sarpreet Singh. Can't quite control it. Gets the ball back from a wayward pass from Ashur. So New Zealand still 30 yards from goal. Here's a chance for Stamanic to shoot. What a great sliding challenge. And that allows Marmouche to pick up the loose ball. He speeds off over the halfway line. Mohamed Salah arcing into the left-hand edge of the area. Gets the ball. He has to apply the brakes. Comes back looking for support runners. There's 5 Egyptians alongside, including the goal scorer Zico. He dinks it though. That is a very disappointing end to a potentially dangerous situation as Egypt show.
We were in big trouble there. Their numbers, they've had 2 more players in that attack than we could get possibly back, and I don't know what he thought he was doing, but that was just a wasteful ball, and you can tell by certain Egyptian players were certainly letting them know that they didn't appreciate such a ball. And we see it here, the All Whites are slow. It's now changed. The Egyptians are looking to counter-attack with absolute speed, and we're trying to dull the game, and that's a very dangerous game to be playing.
As Rabia decides to just bully Sarpreet Singh, push him over. Gee, he's been impactful. And here is the first sub. And it's going to be Callum McHardy coming off and Ben Olds coming on. What you thinking there, Chris?
Yeah, I think McHardy's off because there's so much tackling going in now that he's already on a yellow card, and you certainly don't want to go down and play it down with 25 to go. So yeah, I can understand him coming off, but we've lost the ball again.
Yes, and here we go. It's Mohamed Salah. Marmouche into the area, cuts back on his right foot. Bell's there. Really important challenge. Marmouche was just about to pull the trigger. His favourite right foot. Now it's just right wing side. Got 2 Egyptians. He speeds away from them. Poor ball looking for Chris Wood. 25 yards from goal. It's cleared away. Tim Payne picks up the second ball. He can come forward. Bit of energy. Delivered back. Post. There's Chris Wood. But Schubert off his line. He's retreating. He's running backwards. But he gets up. 2 hands just in front of Chris Wood, not for the first time in this game. It remains 1-1, 66 gone.
He had to come for that because, Chris, that was a goal. That's an easy one for Chris to get up, pop it back over him, and keeper's done extremely well there. As much as we talked about in the first half about the All Whites, the way they were playing, we're watching a very, very different type of performance in the second half. And to be fair, the Egyptians have lifted their level as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
You don't, and...
Here's Ben Olds sprinting out to the left wing side, trying to get to the loose ball, and he's taken down. There was contact there. No whistle. Not for the first time.
Wow.
A little bit of inconsistencies from the UAE referee. Here is Zico. Centrally finds Mohamed Salah on the right wing channel. You know what he's going to do? He's going to cut back onto his left foot. Plays his neat 1-2, shoots and scores! It had to be the king. Mohamed Salah has put Egypt in front. They have dominated the second half, and they've turned a deficit into a lead. Chris Wood races to the referee to ask what's going on. There should have been a foul and back play, you could argue, but I will not argue how on earth we allowed Egypt that much space, 30 yards out, finding Mohamed Salah, a neat 1-2, and he rolls it into the left-hand corner. New Zealand 1, Egypt 2, 67 and a half minutes gone.
The pocket of space between the back 4 and the midfield was enormous, and when you got a Marmouche and Salah and those boys, little back heel, tuck away, that's what's going to happen. Sure, it probably was a foul on Ben Old, and we can't really see, but I would imagine we've switched off just a touch, and we conceded a goal against one of the best players of the last 10 years. But In saying that, we dropped off, the pockets were enormous, and things happened. Nobody can complain. You got to play the referee's whistle.
Darren Baisley shaking his head on the sideline, arms folded, standing like a statue. Well, he's got to get moving. He's got to get his team back into this game.
The Egyptians are absolutely ecstatic, as you can well imagine. For the next 22 minutes, they're just going to look to keep the ball, and they're just going to look to keep the ball. Why is Ben Nold on the sideline?
Because he had to receive some attention after that foul, and the rules state you've got to stay off the field. One of the changes to the laws for this.
Oh, yeah, I get the change, but I didn't think he got treatment.
He must have been back play, I can only assume.
Yeah, look, the Egyptians will take their foot off the gas now and just keep ball. And we'll be chasing shadows unless we, if it was me, I'd chuck 3 or 4 subs on, I'd go for it. Because a point's better than what we're doing, especially a game which we controlled for such a long period of time. And
well, this team has talked about getting out of the group.
Yeah.
And you don't want to leave yourself in a situation where you need to beat Belgium, who will be hurting. Ben Old's still not back on the field. Time has not elapsed. We're in the 70th minute.
See, that's what why is Ben not out on the pitch? There's something going on here.
Left wing side of the field. It's Fatua, left full-back. He comes back and finds Lachine.
The new rules they've brought in for this World Cup, if you go down and require treatment and the referee hasn't given a foul, it's a stop time wasting. You have to stay on the sideline for a minute.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, 1 whole minute. As Chris Milicic has pointed out, just keeping possession. Egypt along their back line. The Egyptian fans are loving life. This has been, 92 years in the making for them. They can see the finish line. Ben Old races back on. Rabia, the centre half, diagonal out to the right wing side, and not for the first time. The right fullback, Mohamed Haney, has space. Mohamed Salah comes short. Now plays a delightful ball through the centre forward channel, looking for Marmouche, who was arcing in from that left wing. It was just a fraction too strong, and Crocombe quickly up to collect. The danger signs. And now, Tim Payne's just been needlessly dispossessed, running into a blind alley. Salah, he's found. He finds Marmouche back to goal. He'll go back to Ashur, who's come in quite narrow in this half. Hasn't been hugging that right-hand touchline. It's overloading in the middle of the field. They're using the right fullback. Haney again in space on the right-hand side. Looked like the Iranian fullback had a field day against New Zealand from the right-hand side. Crocombe throws upfield, but Sarpreet Singh, who's had a mixed 71 minutes, allows the ball to hit his heel, go backwards, and Egypt can attack again, but Ben Old's trying to win it back. Can't do so. Oh, it's all one-way traffic. Played into the feet of Marmouche, who theatrically goes down. If you're not going to call him at the other end, don't call that one. Yeah, good decision from the referee. Here's Payne. Plays it out towards Old, to his left to Sarpreet Singh. Tries to feed it back, but he's just bulldozed over by Yasser Ibrahim. Strong defending from the centre half, who's now playing a ball into the feet of Zico. So Zico's playing off Mohamed Salah. That is the tactical shift personnel-wise. Marmouche is playing out on the left-hand side, and it's worked a treat in this half.
If you think they've got one up top, they've got Salah just from behind, but both the wide players are now playing inside into quite a narrow, almost an attacking central midfield pocket. Therefore narrowing up New Zealand in the front, therefore isolating especially the right fullback, who's getting down the line into a very, very large pocket of space, which is where their goals came from. So, and the reality is, I hope with the drinks break or the hydration break that Darren takes the opportunity to change some things, because we're going to need to fix this if we don't want to go 3-1 down.
Mo Salah setting all sorts of record. He's now the oldest Egyptian to score at a World Cup. He's also the only Egyptian to score in 2 different iterations of the World Cup, and has the most goals for Egypt in World Cups as well, Daniel. And just to give you a bit of a glimpse into it, was 45-55 roughly possession in the first half. Second half very much in Egypt's favour. 65% of the ball they've had, and they have created 3 big chances. It's 9 shots to 2 in the second half.
Yeah, 13 touches in the opposition area, just 3 for New Zealand, Chris. If you're in that huddle Put yourself in Darren Baisley's shoes. What are you saying? How do you stop the bleeding?
There's two things you can do. You can either say we've got to man mark a little bit more into the pocket and then deny. We've got to get closer to the player that receives the ball. But the Egyptians are doing it very well. Mamouche and those guys in the pocket, they're not waiting. The ball comes in, it's one touch around the corner. It's something goes immediately to open up the channel. It is a very Egyptian way they play. If you watch Al-Ali and those sorts of, not Al-Ali, the teams, the Egyptian teams, they really do overload the outside. And they've gone back to what I would consider, if you do any analysis, they're playing an Egyptian style of football. But New Zealand's not helping itself. As just before those goals started, we were talking about how slow the ball speed of the New Zealand team had become, how they were sort of just rolling it. And unfortunately, in that regard, that sort of can hurt the New Zealand team, because when we look most dangerous, and we've all been a bit surprised in this World Cup, it's just the speed of a false counter-attack where the ball's moving and everybody's moving quickly.
So one substitution so far. We've got Sarpreet Singh still on the pitch, who's also on a yellow card. Will you look to, is it a Lockie Bayliss or is it a Ryan Thomas that plays that role, comes on?
I think that where we are right now, if this is your starting lineup for the third game, you put on players hoping to get a goal or something, but I'd be making 2 or 3 subs round about now. Could be Lockie Bayliss, could be Ryan Thomas. You could look to change one of the fullbacks, and just see what you can achieve.
Would you play Costa through the middle off Chris?
There's a reason why Costa's not playing, and I don't know what the reason is. And the answer to that would be yes, I would. I'd make some changes now, because right now the Egyptians are comfortable, and if we don't make some changes, they'll just walk out 2-1 winners.
I think Sarpreet Singh's struggled today. The touch hasn't been quite there, and I think changes are coming for New Zealand, and they are coming in the form of Jesse Randall and Ryan Thomas.
Yep.
I know you mentioned Costa, and the other name I was going to mention was Randall for that pace. So Singh is coming off.
And so's Kakachi.
No surprise there. And Kakachi. So that will see Ben Old shift back to a left fullback position with Kakachi off.
And I think that's the right thing. What Darren and his coaching staff have done, it's the right thing. Trying to change it up, that hydration breaks allowed them to get some fluid in, get some instructions, and they've got 25 minutes to get, it's 15 minutes, sorry, to give it as good as they get, to try and get themselves a point out of this game. And I think that's a good move. Jesse, we all know he's got an electric pace and he can go. Ben's now at left back. He's going to struggle as much as Libby, but with what the Egyptians are doing. But Zico's off for them.
Yeah,
so
they've made 2 changes themselves here, Chris. Zico is off and Omar Mamouche is off. Surprised by that. Mamouche's been looking very good down that left-hand side, although they do bring on Trezeguet, very experienced player, 97th international. He played all 3 games of the 2018 World Cup, and a bright young talent on for his 4th international appearance for Egypt is Hamza Abdul Karim, recently signed by, I'm not sure if you've heard of them, Chris, FC Barcelona. In the 77th minute, it is New Zealand 1, Egypt 2. New Zealand led by 1-0 at the half, and it's been a flood of Egyptian attacks. The half-time adjustments proving just the tonic, but still New Zealand must believe. But Egypt is growing in confidence and in possession at the moment. Ball down the right wing side, looking for Ashur, who nudges Ben Old. He claims shoulder to shoulder. It was more shoulder in the back, I thought, and rightly the referee decides that is a free kick.
Yeah. See, I'm hesitant to say something, but I'm a little bit surprised with the referee, some of the fouls that he's blowing and some he hasn't. So my question is, what was the difference between that one and the one that Ben got hit in the back in the attacking third? It's just the consistency. That's all anybody asks from the referees. I don't think he's had a bad game, don't get me wrong. I just kind of think that from a New Zealand perspective, you just want a little bit of consistency.
10 metres shy of the Egyptian half. Sermon plays it over the half, finding Just. He dribbles and drives away from Lachine, who's on a yellow card. He knows he can't dive in. The shadows just into a position where he comes back centrally. Ryan Thomas is going to be dispossessed. Cries, have we got the ball from the substitute Trezeguet? Clearly clipping the heels of Ryan Thomas.
And I would imagine we'll see this delivered into the box.
Another full house announced. The FIFA World Cup. Over 50,000. I think capacity's around about 54. So, free kick. Tim Payne to take. 40 yards from goal. Most of the New Zealanders lined up. Top of the area. Was going to deliver towards the back post, and it was, you got it, it was Finn Sermon and Chris Wood who were the targets. And Chris Wood has been penalised for challenge. He's just come a little bit late, as was a flick clearing header from Ibrahim. Yes, Ibrahim. And Wood's judged to just have got him a little bit late. Yes, here. He's back to his feet. We're entering time-wasting territory now, aren't we?
Time-wasting got you another minute on the sideline. Bet you we don't see that.
It will be a free kick inside the area. We're in the 80th minute. New Zealand 1, Egypt 2. If it stays like this, Egypt will climb to the top of the group. New Zealand will be at the bottom with 1 point. Iran and Belgium on 2. Old drives past Salah from the left full-back position, tries to play it through traffic. It's spat straight back into the path of Mohamed Salah. He just calmly rolls it, finds he dinks the ball in across towards the penalty spot. Glancing header away by Payne. Still not out. Shot in towards Crocombe. He's comfortable. It was off the right foot of the left fullback, his weaker foot, Fatua. And no real venom in that strike. New Zealand try to go long. And it's just all very disjointed, New Zealand, in the second half. No rhythm. No synergy in attack, which we've seen in spades in the first half of this game and in game number 1.
Yeah, and the spaces now between the New Zealand team are quite large.
Mohamed Salah, top of the area, looking to bend. Mo special in. He got underneath it, but it did deflect off a New Zealand player. It will be a corner at the very least. Mohamed Salah is pointing to his arm. I don't know if he's trying to suggest that it hits a New Zealander's arm on the way through. More likely an Egyptian third coming, Chris, than an equaliser at the other end. Sad to say.
Well, goal difference is going to matter in a pool that's got loads of draws in it. Goal difference is going to matter, so you certainly don't want to concede another one.
Left-footed out, swinging corner from Mohamed Salah, hit nice and low. Near post header is smacked in by Trezeguet. The substitute has made it safe. He's made it 3. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 3. Left criminally alone at the near post. Darren Basie looks skyward looking for help. He might need it.
Yeah, it was an outswinger by Mo Salah. It was pretty flat. Just a great run, and he was left free, and he's just sort of bent down, and he just guided it off his head into the corner of the goal. 3-1. It's been coming, as you alluded before it happened. You know, it was going to happen, and unfortunately for the All Whites, it's probably a little bit of 2 pieces. One day good, yeah, not even marked.
Yeah, Crocombe only reacted when the ball's passed him. It's gone through a bevy of bodies. 4 New Zealanders close, but not close enough to Trezeguet, who wheels away, celebrates with great jubilation a 24th international goal. And Egypt on the way to securing their first ever win at a FIFA World Cup, unless something truly extraordinary happens. But based on what we have seen, really from the 30-minute mark, Chris, it's been all Egypt. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap.
Oh, look, I think the coaching changes they made at half-time, the way they're now forcing themselves onto the front foot, not allowing anybody to hit Chris with freedom. Chris is double team marked, so that's gone away. New Zealand's now taking more touches. They keep giving the ball away, and look, that's nothing critical of what New Zealand's doing.
Oh, hold on, Chris, because here come Egypt again. Mohamed Salah's on the left-hand side of the area, just waiting, bends a ball in, header away by Abdel Karim's header by Crocombe, but I think the teenage substitute has been judged to have fouled the New Zealand defender, just pushed him over. Did he?
Well, I think he had arms around Boxall's shoulders, but you're doing well to pull Boxall over if he doesn't want to go down.
That's right.
2 changes coming for Egypt, including Mohamed Salah, who'll get a huge ovation.
And deservedly so. I think in the second half he's made quite a big world of difference. He scored the go-ahead goal. Just his movement, and I mean, he is Mo Salah, so and he is difficult to pick up, but his movement inside, when he went inside, was the coaching change that I think changed everything. And when he actually legitimately went inside, a Mamouche came out, and suddenly there was not a target, and instead it became a fluid motion, and unfortunately for the All Whites, that's something they wouldn't face too often.
All right, so New Zealand 2 are going to go to the bench. Looks like Bindon and De Vries are coming on. It's almost like Darren Baisley's waving the white flag here and saying, I don't want any more goals conceded. That does not sit comfortably with me.
It's interesting. I'd like to see what his plan is, because Old's already out there.
Payne's off. Or maybe Old will push up higher. So Bindon will go to right fullback. De Vries to the left-hand side, and Ben Old to push up onto the left-hand side.
Randolph off Wood in the middle.
Interesting. Just confirming those changes for Saeed Zizou is on. I wasn't quite sure of the other man who came on.
Tyler Bindon for us.
For Egypt. We're in the 86th minute. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 3. New Zealand were up 1-0 through to the 58th minute when Zico scored. Salah 9 minutes later, and then the third from the corner a short time ago. Ball played down the right wing channel. New Zealand in behind. Jesse Randall, who's got numbers, tries to find Chris Wood. Unfortunately for him, Rami Rabia got his left heel out, deflected it, and just to sum up New Zealand's half, it was off the New Zealand forward Randall, and it will be a goal kick. But a rare moment when New Zealand get him behind in the second half. Bindon's first touch, the right fullback, tries to play it down the line, looking for a teammate, pushed out by, that's Ate. Play on is the call as New Zealand try to run the ball down the right-hand sideline, but it's pushed out. It might be an Egyptian throw. Indeed it is. They take it reasonably quickly, but New Zealand counter-press, win it back nicely, and that should be a New Zealand throw. Thomas down that right-hand side, socks almost around the ankle. Mustachioed midfielder goes inside the area. New Zealand through Boxall to launch a long throw. Plenty of numbers forward. He hurls it long, high, top of the 6-yard box, headed out to Bell. Bell lofts it back in, nodded down by Sermon. Laid off, Stamanic there to pull the trigger. Toe in, an important one by Egypt. Out to Old on this near touchline. The left-sided midfielder has Bell. Bell comes backwards, finds De Vries. De Vries looking to diagonal, switch the play. Randall goes up. That skimmed off the head of the Egyptian left fullback. That will be a throw to New Zealand. We're on the 88th minute. It's New Zealand 1, Egypt 3.
We could have as many as 6 extra minutes. There's been enough substitutions, and of course the bend old thing. So, it's be good if they got a goal here. They could probably mount some pressure.
Boxall to throw. It's sliced up and away for a corner. New Zealand scored in the first half through a corner. The big boys will remain up.
And Francis is on the pitch, and I would imagine he's about to take this. And as everybody knows, Francis' dead ball delivery is probably the best in the whole squad. So
left-footed in-swinger will be Chris Woods is being chased around that 6-yard box as he's trying to get some space. So, what's the delivery like? Plenty of numbers inside that 6-yard box. Delivery's pretty good. Up they go. Headed away, though, in front of Chris Wood, and a chance for Egypt to break. They're flooding forward through the centre-forward channel. Rushing back is Ben Old, who calmly is just going to take it away from Trezeguet, one of the goal scorers and substitutes. He now rolls it to De Vries, who's in the right full-back position. He comes back in to a central position. Bell, 5 yards shy of the halfway line. We're in the 89th minute. Time is running out. Can New Zealand claw back a consolation goal? They haven't constructed much from open play in this second half. The opening 30 minutes, much different story. They started so positively. De Vries bends a ball in top of the area, laid off poorly by Chris Woods. You don't say that too often. He was just trying to nudge it into the path of Old running in from a left wing position. It's gone out over the line for a goal kick. In fact, doesn't matter because Chris Wood was adjudged to have been offside anyway.
That was an interesting call, but it's difficult for us to tell from here.
As the keeper, Shubert, just steals another 15 metres. He will take. He launches out to left wing side, but the New Zealand right fullback Bindon wins the header. Here's a galloping run by Randall. Gets away from two. Now arcs back in. And then he's just out-muscled. Nothing wrong with that, according to the referee. In fairness, I do think Tate just got his body in front. Seven added minutes. We're into added time. 7 minutes to pull this one out of the fire for New Zealand. As unlikely as that seems.
Stranger things have happened, mate. Especially in a game of football, you only need, 10 seconds to score. But to do that, you have to be in the attacking third.
They move over the halfway line. Stamanic pleading with his forward runners to offer him. Finds Old, though, it's 2v1. How often have we seen that, Chris? The Egyptians have defended very well. Getting bodies in the right position. Made it very hard for New Zealand to pick a path.
But also, in the first half, New Zealand was letting the ball go, and in the second half, they stopped letting the ball go. And, whether that's confidence, understanding, change of plan, you're never going to know. But I often think pressure can do funny things to teams.
Thomas, now 35 yards from goal. Towards out towards the right wing flank. Checks it back to Bindon. Bindon will give it back to Thomas. And he get a ball in. He bends it in towards the back post. Chris Wood is there. Shubert, great punch with his left hand. Gee, he's been good in those moments. Yep. Chris Wood on any other day could have had 2 or 3. But Schubert's shown great sort of timing and athleticism. Ball's returned. He's off his line again. He's going to get a foul here. It's a reasonable challenge from Bindon. He's got his eyes on the balls.
But Bindon's gone up straight, and the keeper's not, and yet
Chris,
the keeper's...
you know they won't ever give that to the attacker. He's headed his arm.
Yeah, that's just not a foul. It's just not a foul.
Can I politely disagree?
You can politely disagree, but I've been the guy in green.
Yeah, they're protected species these days, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be nice?
I'm sorry, in 2026, that's a foul. It is called a foul all the time. 2 minutes of the 7 added. It remains New Zealand 1, Egypt 3. Flicked on, De Vries has got to get... Oh, it's a poor touch. It could be 4. Rounding the goalkeeper is Zizou. Oh, my Lord. Max Crocombe got back and got his feet down to it. An extraordinary save. Saving the blushes of De Vries. It was a horror moment for the replacement fullback. And Zizou, he's no Zizou. He should have put that away. Old into the feet of Wood. Nice link-up play. Back to Old. Runners to the right. That's Randall. Goes to Bell, though. Nice dink by Bindon to go past one player, feeds into the inside right channel where Ben Old will see a corner, 1 for New Zealand. Here's a chance to halve the deficit. Rabia got the last chance. De Vries to take. Some stressed looking faces across the New Zealand fans in Vancouver. Still 4 minutes to play. Boxall is up. Sermon at the back post. De Vries' delivery is high to the back post. Bindon, header back across the face of goal. Headed up, not away. Still not there. Who's going to come down with it? I think Egypt will finally clear. Looking to get on the end of it is Trezeguet, but he's beaten to it by Joe Bell. New Zealand certainly have looked very dangerous. And we've got a player who's gone down, holding his face. Not sure what you saw, Chris.
Well, he let me on for a sideline for a minute because there was no foul there.
That's correct. Well, he has caught
he hit
elbow.
What did he cop?
He copped Boxall's elbow before he got the ball in the face.
Right, okay.
Nothing intentional from Boxall.
I only saw him get the header away. Want to see that angle again. He has stayed down.
I can guarantee if they were losing, he would not be on the ground.
I guarantee you're right. I'm not saying it was terrible contact.
No.
Wonderful opportunity for Egypt to make it 4-1, but New Zealand through Crocombe scrambling as the replacement Said Zizo. He did not trust his left foot, Chris.
No.
The goal is calling his name.
But he also...
45-degree angle. If he shoots with the left, there's no one back there. He tries to cut it back to the right-hand side, and that allowed New Zealand that all-important time
100%,
to get back.
Except there's this thing that happens quite often. Once the people beat the keeper, they think the keeper's lying on the ground. But the keeper's coming, and he just happened to just take his time, think he's going to tuck it around, and if you allow the keeper just enough time to recover, he is coming, and Max did a great job there getting his foot down.
But he also allowed Michael Boxall time to get back on the line.
Yeah, and so, you know...
It should be 4.
It should be 4. And... yeah, this is just going on, this guy.
A lot of questions to be asked about what the All Whites coaches changed at halftime. What they didn't do against Iran is change, right? They kept going forward even though they led twice. They did it.
I think they were very slow to adjust to the opening 15-20 minutes where Egypt had tinkered themselves. And again, they profited down that right-hand side. The right fullbacks have given New Zealand nightmares at this tournament. Razier in the first game. As good to see Hussam Abdelmajid back to his feet, the replacement centre half. Oh, and he is sporting a heck of a black eye. That is swollen up. Accidental elbow, so he'll go off the field. Looks like he's gone 12 rounds. Face only your mother could love right now.
Most have said those faces, mate.
6.5 minutes of the added 7. But with that break, there's going to be a few more, has to be said. He's sprinting to the sidelines to get back on. The New Zealanders saying 1 minute, 1 minute. There was no foul. Hussam literally having to hold him back, the fourth official. He wants to get on. Play resumes. Ball's played out poorly out to the left wing channel, and that's an easy header away. New Zealand will have the throw. Staminit's 30 yards from goal. We're past the 7 added minutes. We're now in the arms of the referee, De Vries. Has it taken off his toe, pushed out by the industrious Marawanate.
We must have 3 minutes. That guy was down for a good period of time.
Here's another long throw for New Zealand. De Vries now on the left-hand side to take. Just waits. He needs to get on with it. 5 seconds to get the throw in. He delivers. Huge one inside the 6-yard box. It spits out to Staminit. He shoots and it's deflected in on goal. And a great save by Schubert. I'm not sure he knew much about it. Hold on, it's a 3-on-2 at the other end. Here go Egypt galloping downfield. Man over on the left-hand side. They could not get through to him. Ball's played in. And Crocombe gets off his line and 7 yards out, gets an important touch. And onto Trezeguet. Let's check this replay. It's deflected by Bindon, but too close to the keeper. And Shabir, got his shoe down. His left one. It could have easily been 3-2.
Their goalkeeper's performed extremely well today. Anything he's been asked to do, he's done. But more than that, his way he's cleaned up some of the crosses that Chris lives on have been perfect, pitch perfect.
Looks like a concussion substitute for Egypt.
Maybe I was a bit harsh on the poor kid.
Abdelmaim has come on because of that suspected concussion. So we've had nearly 9 minutes of added time. Only supposed to play 7. Surely it's just a few seconds away. So no great escape for New Zealand. Still chance maybe to just draw one closer. Goal difference could be all important. Sermon. It's not his job to bomb forward like Beckenbauer. He's too ponderous and he loses possession, and that's back to the Egyptian goalkeeper. He'll send it. We look to the referee. Still time as it goes from one keeper to the other. Crocombe rolls it out to Bindon. The whistle sound from the Egyptian fans. Long diagonal out towards Wood, left-hand side. All the second balls have just been picked up by Egypt in this half. They clear it up over the halfway line. Trezeguet now brings it down and he'll roll it into the feet of Arte. The central midfielder rolls to the right-hand side. Here's Zizo to his right. He had Haney presenting for about the 4 millionth time this game, but he decides to go back in. Now back to Arte. Bell trying to close down, but it's just returned to the number 19, Manawan Arte. Now down the right-hand side, they find Zizo. He tries to get an early ball in, but it's off Boxall and a corner. And the game will finish at the New Zealand end of the field. Yes, the final whistle sounds. It's all over in Vancouver. 92 years after their first ever FIFA World Cup game, Egypt have finally won on football's greatest stage. But boy, they were made to work. Down 1-0 after 15 minutes thanks to a bullet header from Finn Sermon. The Pharaohs, though, have reigned supreme in Vancouver, starting to take a grip of the game late in the first half. But no two ways about it in the second. There was a gulf between them. A gulf between Egypt and New Zealand. 3 second-half goals. 59 minutes, Zico equalised. The king himself, Mohamed Salah, after 67. And then Trezeguet with the icing on the cake. And it finishes in Vancouver. New Zealand 1, Egypt 3. And New Zealand will head to their final group game against Belgium, needing all 3. The thoughts of Chris Milicic.
Yeah, they're going to have to beat Belgium, and I mean, imagine saying that. You're going to have to go and beat Belgium, De Bruyne and all of them. I think at the end of the day today, Egypt thoroughly deserved their win. The amount of momentum they created and the goal-scoring opportunity, and they could have scored another 1 or 2. In saying that, New Zealand had a couple of chances early in the second half. McCowart's header that could have done something. But I think fundamentally you'd have to ask the changes that Egypt did won them the game, and it's very difficult to see how we reacted to that.
Criticisms of the All Whites, the way they reacted to that?
Yeah, we'll have a full breakdown in our post-game show. Just enjoying the scenes here. The Egyptian coach grabbing a flag and running around this field. Let's not forget what this means to this proud nation. Dominating Africa for generations, never having done it on this scene. And that is an image, I'm sure, that will be replayed over and over as the Egyptian coach and support staff do a victory lap with the Egyptian flag. A proud moment for them. Hugely disappointing one for the New Zealanders. who again, for a third time at this tournament, were in front, unable to see it through, and their wait for a first win continues. We'll wrap things up as far as live commentary of this game here on Sport Nation, but we are the home of the FIFA World Cup 2026. We've got a full recap as we will dissect what has happened in Vancouver, where it is finished. New Zealand 1, Egypt 3.
Melbourne City FC, from grassroots to football's biggest stage, proudly backing Australian football. Broadcast sponsor of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Say yes to turning into a Socceroo girl at the pub. Say yes to going out after the game. Say yes, I'm Dee Dee. Woo! Woo!
Need reliable traffic control? M1 Traffic Control Geelong has you covered 24/7 with compliant, efficient and professional service. Safety is the number one priority for both road users and workers themselves. No job is too big or too small, and they're currently hiring local talent within the Geelong, Darwin Southwest region to ensure your job is locally sourced. Email recruitment at m1trafficcontrol.com.au or visit m1tl.com.au. M1 Traffic Control, keeping Geelong moving safely.
You call, you get on. That's the Midday Madness promise. Dwayne's World, broadcast live from Dwayne's Best Shed studio. Monday to Friday from 12 till 3 p.m. Best sheds at the best prices. Australian owned and manufactured. Visit bestsheds.com.au.
Australia, the 7-seat Isuzu MUX is as versatile as you are. Enough style and tech for your long weekends or the long way home. Up to 3.5-tonne towing capacity and 2.2 or 3-litre engine options for touring around the country or just across the city. The Isuzu MUX is made for all the ways you go your own way. Love how you live in the Isuzu MUX.
A legendary country deserves a legendary bottle shop. At Liquorland, we've been filling fridges and helping Aussies raise a glass for over 50 years. Cold, but cosy nights in. And summer sundowners, hosting the watch party. Or cooking for a full house, for the last minute dash on the way, or ordering your favourites from the couch. We'll bring the epic value and the legendary drinks. Liquorland, legendary. Choose to drink wise.
Join Caroline Wilson and Corey Perkin for their weekly podcast, Don't Shoot the Messenger, filled with their insights into the latest news and a little sport, good local tips, and plenty of recommendations of what they're reading, watching, and whipping up in the kitchen.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it. She doesn't bare her soul, clearly, but she gives just enough to give us a real sense of who she is.
Yeah, very much so. And she's a very uncomplicated person, I think. And because she has this innate sense of celebrityism, I think, you know, health allowing and everything going her way, I think she could end up like Cher. You know, she could just be, you know, 70s and 80s and doing the gigs. Tina Turner, she could still be doing that.
You'll find the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast on the SEN app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Red Energy, awarded CanStar's most trusted energy provider 3 times. Maybe it's time you switch to Red.
Here's another top tyre tip from Tyre Power. All Tyre Power owners are committed to the future of our planet for their kids and their kids' kids. That's why they're all part of local tyre recycling programs, which means at Tyre Power, your old tyres don't end up in landfill. Instead, old tyres are recycled and get a second life in a number of different industries. To learn more, visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local independent owner.
For over a century, Cyclone has armed Australians with the strongest, most reliable garden tools. Trusted by trade professionals and home gardeners alike, Cyclone tools are engineered for superior performance in tough Aussie conditions. When you pick up a Cyclone product, you're holding a tool made to perform and made to endure. The number one name for Australian garden tools, Cyclone Tools. Available at Bunnings Warehouse, Mitre 10 and independent garden retailers.
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
Oh yeah, alright, don't stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, alright, don't stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate.
This is the Studs Up post-game show with myself, Ricardo Ball, Nathan Elaine, Daniel McHardy, Chris Milicic alongside us. Our presenting partner is aucklandfc.co.nz, broadcast sponsor of Sport Nation's coverage of the All Whites games during the FIFA World Cup 2026, your official radio broadcast. You can get memberships now at aucklandfc.co.nz and be part of the champions. Gentlemen, disappointing. A 1-0 lead for the All Whites at half-time. Go on and concede 3 in the second half. We know this Egyptian side is a very good side, but Chris, if I can come to you first. The difference at half-time, I know that you talked in the commentary with Daniel about how the Egyptians set up differently, overloaded the fullbacks. I want to know from you is what we saw in that first 15 minutes of the second half, was that down to New Zealand making changes and going more defensive in the second half, or was that the Egyptians not allowing the All Whites to play the way they wanted to play?
I think if we look back at the game, the 3 to 5 minutes prior to half-time, the Egyptians were well on top. And so they obviously went into half-time feeling like they were taking control of the game. And when they came out in the second half, they certainly changed some things. And I think New Zealand were too slow to react, and it took them 5 or 6 minutes of the second half to even get into the game. They could have conceded a goal in that first few minutes. And then as the game went on, we stopped putting pressure on the ability of the Egyptians in the back half of their playing squad to play balls forward. So once you do that, players drop into pockets, they're getting uninterrupted pass in there, and they can do what they like. Now, Marmouche and the boy on the other side of forgotten his name, but they weren't even taking a touch. It was coming, it was first time round the corner, it was first time thing. And what they did is, by doing that, you narrow up the opposition and then you exploit the space. And then the other side of the coin is we weren't getting to the players like we were in the first half. And that to me is, it's easy when you're defending a 1-0 lead, you can go all day. And I think that only the All Whites who were there know what was said at half time, what the team did. But I got a sense that they kind of thought, we'll try and control the game, which is not what they were doing in the first half when they were so dominant.
Expert comments there from Chris Milicic, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse, keeping Kiwis healthy all year round, a broadcast sponsor of Sport Nation's expert commentators during FIFA World Cup 2026 and your official radio broadcaster here, Sport Nation. Nathan Elaine was watching the game with our production crew as well. Nathan, it was very much a different looking New Zealand side if you compare first half to second half. What did you think were the big indicators as to what changed?
Well, I think firstly, they played so well in that first half that, we were all kind of like, well, this is brilliant. We came on at half time. We were all raging about the performance. We'd seen them, as Chris said, kind of start to drop off a little bit at the end of the first half. And you think, okay, well, they're just trying to hold on to the 1-0 lead. But the problem is that mentality, and I think this is where we're getting to here, the mentality when they came out in the second period seemed to be the same. Sit back, let them come on to us. We'll try and counter them on the break. And that led to the pressure just coming in waves and waves and waves. They couldn't get out of their half. And, it's apples and oranges in terms of performance compared to the first and second half, isn't it? Because they were so on it. They were sharp. They were fast. They were pressurizing Egypt. They were forcing them to make mistakes. They were getting high up the field. And then all of a sudden, in that second period, they barely started, did they? And, I don't know if that is a coaching thing. I don't know if the occasion got to them. I don't know if that was just something that they wanted to do to try and hold Egypt off for a little bit and then try and get back into the game in the second half, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's really disappointing.
The fourth quarter, FIFA would call that.
Yeah.
Daniel McHardy, you called this game as the play-by-play caller. We've seen 3 great halves of football from New Zealand, and then we've seen that last half as well. Felt like a bit of a gut punch. Against Iran, we saw them go again. They were 1-0 up, they win again. They were 2-1 up, they win again. We didn't see that this time. Why do you think that thinking changed?
You can't actually answer that question. I think I made a comment to you off air, fellas. You'd feel a lot better about this performance if you'd swapped the halves around. If you played that poorly and then you'd finish, but to be one goal to the good against the side, and Chris, I'll say it again, they haven't won a game in 92 years. There's so much pressure on the side. I think you needed to be assertive. I think you needed to go at them, and New Zealand just retreated. How often did we say Chris Wood 35 yards from goal? Not their goal, our goal. And then I have to ask the coaching about how on earth for the second straight game the right fullback is such a menace. We saw it a lot. This time it was Mohamed Hani getting out there, overloading, creating that space, and New Zealand just weren't able to adjust. And I think in possession we were a little bit ponderous compared to the very high levels in the first half. We were in sort of dizzying heights in the first half. Couldn't quite believe what we were seeing. So it is quite a frustrating feeling. Despondent sort of group of us right now. And just reading some of the text messages coming through on 8833, a lot of our listeners sort of feel something similar.
Chris, in that first half, you said, this is great from this All Whites team from a New Zealand side. In the past, we've just seen get 2 banks of 4, hit the ball long and try and, to create off a mistake. And you were pleasantly surprised by what you were seeing from this New Zealand team. But in the second half, it felt like we reverted to exactly what you thought you were going to get.
So in the first half, and we did it against Iran very well, we're starting to break the lines. Now, once you start breaking the lines and players are receiving the ball on the the back foot, and then you're looking to continue momentum, you've now got control of the game. And in the first half, they were doing that over and over again, and in fact, could have scored another goal, could have taken total control of the game playing that. But that requires players to do one touch and basically receive on the back foot, pass, receive on the back foot, pass. What happened in the second half? Receive on the back foot, touch, pass. Now, the touch piece gives the opposition time to recover their defensive shape. And I think if we looked over the two halves, the difference was the time we continually gave the Egyptians to get in front of our players, to put pressure on our players because of the additional touch. Now, and what happens then is players stop making those instant runs, and then they start making runs that can be picked up at a defence. So it becomes almost like a slow rusting. The team just gets worse and worse and worse. And unfortunately, that requires players of high experience and high football intellect for many years to pick that up. But you see even the best teams in the world can fall into this trap. And unfortunately for us, it also allowed the Egyptians started pressing with the front two, and then Boxall and Sherman didn't get that freedom they got in the first part because they were suddenly under pressure. And then you looked at the players laid up and behind, and a lot of those passes into the pockets was gone. And I think this comes down to a simple fact. One coach aggressively tried to win the game, and I'm not so sure that we responded in the same.
Got to mention that really impressive save though by Schubert early in the second half. It's a lovely ball and diagonal from the left hand side. McHardy's made a lovely sort of darting run from a central position towards that near post, flick it, and Schubert able to sort of palm it up and over at 2-0 at that stage. Who knows what sort of mental state Egypt going, but after that there was long periods where Egypt were just flooding forward.
We're talking All Whites here on Sport Nation and Studs Up Special after New Zealand 1, Egypt 3. If you want to hear about the new New Zealand rugby team that's just been announced, you can head over to the app and Guy and crew will be talking that for the next little while this afternoon. Just on Schubert, I've got to say, I know he was the goalkeeper in a team that won 3-1, but he's got to be close to man of the match. Looking at 4 saves, 3 punches, 4 high claims as well. Comes out with the ball, comes out and cuts out through balls. I mean, he really stopped New Zealand doing a lot. Yeah, it could have been a lot more if it wasn't for him.
It's Mo Salah, right? He scored a goal at a World Cup. It's the Stars World Cup who gets games. But just a lack of intensity. Listening to Chris, that extra touch, the willingness to let it go, to let it flow. It looked like to me we weren't as intense in that second half.
You look at the way that these two games have gone, right? And we talked in that first game about moments, and Ricardo talked about the goalkeeper save from McHardy's header, and unfortunately, the contrast to that is the moment for the All Whites. So we're looking at the replay now of that equalising goal. pretty much straight down Crocom's throat, right? And, he's a good goalkeeper. I've got no criticism of him really, but he'll be looking back at that goal. And as soon as that goal went in, and you can see all the and to your point, Chris, about the slowness of the play. As soon as it was slowed down, it's so hard to get back out of that, isn't it? To snap back out. Once you're taking those 3 touches, you can't just snap your fingers and go, right, we're going to play one-touch passing. And as soon as that goal is gone, and you can see the All Whites players, they're all kind of looking at each other, and it's a defining moment.
Where does the goal come from, though? The delivery.
Exactly. Yeah, the delivery.
Again,
and where
again caught so narrow, and again, it's Mohamed Haini, who Chris has time to take a touch and put it into his path. So 2 players rush out, but when the ball's played out to him, he's got about
Libby
15.
Is now.
15. Libby's in line with the top of the D.
Yeah, and then they're both coming out. So if Libby stays and Elijah comes out, he probably blocks it. So sometimes decision you make causes the issue. So it's not so much that he was wide, it was the fact that nobody flew, and then they both went. So if one of them had gone, then the other can defend the cross. But if you're both there, a single ball beats 2 players. Yeah. And then you just run out of numbers. So it's really important. Those are the little things that matter. And unfortunately, this goal, look at this big, huge pocket of space in front of the back 4. I know we all thought it was Ben Old's, but this is the World Cup, and this is the goal that you lose. That's the losing goal. And so so there's, if we go back to what you just said, there's that rush starts to thing, and then it's difficult to shift it, and it's difficult to pick up the speed, whereas the Egyptians just kept climbing faster and faster and more incisive, and they took control of the game. There's a really famous saying in football, the team that cracks first is the team that loses. And it could be the first minute, it could be the 80th first minute, it could be any time. But once it cracks, the game's over.
It's a nice goal, though, isn't it? Mohamed Salah popping out on that right-hand side. How many times have we seen him go back on that left? How many thought he was looking to shoot there? I was expecting it, but no, what does he do? He tracks the really nice central run of Zico, who, again, credit their manager. Zico had played out wide. He'd gone in centrally. Marmoush had switched to the left. So they had moved their chess pieces around the board. And it's a lovely sort of 1-2 as he puts it back into the path of Mo Salah, who's never going to miss from there.
Bit of a cheat code for the Egyptian coach, though, isn't it? It's a bit like playing FIFA Legends or something, where you can bring Trezeguet and Zico on, and you've already got Salah out there as well.
Well, what's interesting about
goal's poor, though, isn't it, guys? We've got to get closer from the corner.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, there's 2 question marks I think you've got to ask just quickly on that Mo Salah goal. Is there a foul on Ben Old in the build-up to the goal? We haven't seen it again on any of the replays. As soon as that goal went in, Chris Wood is complaining to the referee, and Old is on the deck, and it's like, well, where's the free kick?
I'm wondering if the touch from Ben Old has made up the referee's mind. It's a really heavy touch. I actually wonder if the ref's gone, well, he's not in control of that ball.
I thought it was a foul.
Yeah. I think there's definite contact for a foul, but I'm not sure Ben Old's actually in possession of the ball. I don't think he would. I think it would go out.
I think this is the one the referee's, what he's seen, and don't forget, he's got a very different angle to what we've got. And I thought it was a foul, but I also thought how many of the New Zealanders have just stopped.
Yeah.
And no one's run over there and just launched themselves into someone or blocked it or anything. They've allowed a ball down the line, and the back 4's backed off, and suddenly there's this enormous pocket. It's 3v4.
Yeah.
And we're talking Salah and those guys picking the ball up. And so maybe that's a little bit of naivety, or I'm not sure. I don't know why they're all like to be naive. They're full of professional players that play week in and week out at a very decent level, most of them.
You're on Sport Nation. It is a Studs Up special brought to you by aucklandfc.co.nz. Get your season tickets for next season. Join the champions, broadcast sponsor of Sport Nation's coverage of the All Whites games during the FIFA World Cup 2026. Your official radio broadcaster. Coming up shortly, we'll hear from both the Whites coach Darren Baisley and the goal scorer Finn Sermon.
Keno Go's $40 million jackpot. Download the app. Sportsbet, the easiest way to bet on the cup. Imagine what you could be buying instead. Broadcast sponsors of SEN's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Official radio broadcaster.
In the market for a quality Australian manufactured shed? Because right now, you can save 15% off a Best Shed shed before end of financial year. But hurry, this 15% off end of financial year sale must end June 30. So the sooner you treat yourself to a Best Shed shed, the more you'll save on one of their built-to-last Aussie-built sheds that also come with a 20-year manufacturer's warranty. Hurry, save 15% off for a limited time at bestsheds.com.au.
New job, new course, tree change or seat change. Go to the job site that gets you. View Jobs, Australia's home of regional jobs. Whether it's a builder in Ballarat, nurse in Newcastle, or whichever town you're listening in right now, when you go to viewjobs.com.au, you can find your next local role in the region you love or take the next step with new skills. View Jobs is where locals level up. Australia's home of regional jobs. Viewjobs.com.au.
A legendary country deserves a legendary bottle shop. At Liquorland, we've been filling fridges and helping Aussies raise a glass for over 50 years. Cold, but cosy nights in. And summer sundowners, hosting the watch party. Or cooking for a full house, for the last minute dash on the way, or ordering your favourites from the couch. We'll bring the epic value and the legendary drinks. Liquorland, legendary. Choose to drink wise.
For 100